Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another presentation here of our broadcasting the Issues Room. Today is the 197th broadcast. We'd like to welcome you wherever you are tonight across the globe. Um, Depending on your time zone, whether morning, night, afternoon. We're here in the Issues Room. We come on Tuesdays and Fridays, and tonight is one of our broadcasts. And as I said, it's the 197th edition. This evening conversation going to be a good one. And so we want to encourage you, our viewers, those of you who've continued to be with us over the years, and we say thank you so much for your viewership, for your time with us. We appreciate those moments you spend with us, the commitment you've shown, and we ask you to please share our link tonight. Let us have this conversation together. Tonight we'll be discussing Liberia, of course, some of the things that are trending. Just to remind you, we're going to be going to elections, the runoff between the two leading contenders in the just ended national elections, which was held on October 10th. Next Tuesday, November 14, we'll have the Unity Party headed by Joseph Yuma Boyka, the former vice president under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and the incumbent president, George Manuel Weah, who is seeking the Liberian people's favor for a second term. He's already done 6 years, about 6 years, and he's asking to go for 12 years. What has he done so that the Liberian people can consider him for another 6 years? And what does Joseph Boyka and the Unity Party bring to the table? That will encourage the Liberian people to say they want to go with Boyka over Weah. So, just want to remind you, all you Liberians out there who are capable and competent to vote, who registered to vote, please go to the polls on Tuesday. It's very important. This is the elections that make or break your country. If you want to retain the status quo, then vote George Weah. If you want change for your economy, for your healthcare, for your education, for rule of law and all those things that you continue to cry about, then vote the Unity Party. You only have two choices. You had 20 the other day on October 10th. It's been narrowed down now to 2 candidates. We see a lot of endorsement going on here, there, yonder. Those endorsements don't mean anything if you, the Liberian people, don't make the decision. You are now the president. And if you take that right and give it to a man, whether Boyka, whether Weah, you won all of the things that you are longing for, the things that you've hoped for, that those things will be provided to you. So all you Liberians now, consensus-wise, you are the president of the country. And the vote you put forth in that ballot booth on November 14 will make the difference for you, your children, your children's children, and the continued, progression of your country. So we're asking you to go and vote. Vote your conscience. Vote for your choice. No one is swaying you on what side. You know it, you live it, you feel it, you taste it, you smell it, you hear it. So you know what's best for you collectively as a society. So we implore you to go and vote on November 14, next Tuesday. I believe the same voting time will be 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I'm sure they're going to keep that same timetable. So this is our encouragement from the Issues Room that you go and cast your ballot. We'd like to thank you for joining us. My name is Volcano Shelton here with you this evening. My colleagues are not here yet. I'm hoping that they will be joining us momentarily. We're also going to be featuring Mr. Yankwe Zize for a small segment of the show. He is the chairman of the Liberia People's Party, the party that was headed by Counselor, the integrated lawyer, the poor man lawyer, the non-corrupt lawyer, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. Tiawan did support or endorsed the UP, the Unity Party, the opposition. He was an opposition. He was a presidential candidate in the October 10th elections. So he endorsed the UP. So the expectation is that the party chairman will tell us why they thought to endorse him, but also there's some group within the party that decided to endorse President Weah. So we hope that Mr. Zizi will be addressing those things when he comes here to join us shortly. The other thing I'd like to quickly remind you that our broadcast tonight will be looking at President Weah's recent termination of the service of his deputy foreign minister, I believe for administration, Mr. They like the title, so the honorable. Let me put it today, Honorable Henry Boyman Fahnbulleh Jr. He was dismissed this week because of his involvement of what he said, accordingly, that embarrassed the government regarding a woman by the name of Margaret Cummings, who has filed a sexual harassment uh, plea against a former, who is now the current foreign minister, but he was the former Liberian permanent representative to the United Nations at the time in that portfolio when the sexual allegation, harassment allegation was made. Maxwell Kemayah. He is the current foreign minister. We don't know where that case is, but a woman went live a few days ago and she called from the permanent mission in New York, where she was deprived or denied entry into the permanent mission. And she says she works there. She has not received a formal letter of termination. So she went to work and she was told that she couldn't enter. They called the cops. We played some portion of the video where the foreign minister, the deputy foreign minister, Mr. Fahnbulleh, was called by her from the permanent mission while he was in Liberia, and he tried to intervene. But the government, under President Weah himself said, I don't need your service anymore. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be looking at the issue of Senator Amara Konneh, Senator-elect Amara Konneh from Babaloo County. He mentioned some very important things. He laid the cards on the table as to why the so-called harmonization policy introduced by the Weah government to harmonize the salaries of civil servants. He said that harmonization policy is harming the Liberian economy. And we're going to look at some of the things he mentioned. Then finally, the G.W. Gibson High School on the Capitol Bypass, the students of the school boo. You know what they call boo, right? Boo the Finance Minister Samuel Tweah the other day when he went there. So back conversation. I believe I see Alphonso, and let me just bring him on. Moses has not come yet. But Alphonso, good to see you. You were not here with us the other day, but good to see you, my brother. Welcome to our 197th broadcast. We'd like to welcome you. Quickly, before you say something, let me say thank you to Yumontro Kringa for joining us, Fergie Moyu, Adiaha Inton Jisit, Umbo, all the way in Australia, and Thomas Awaji, who is also sharing the link, calling on Sharon Kippard and Godwin Weado to join us here tonight. Welcome, my brother. Good to see you.
Thank you, thank you. Good to see you, my man. We have to meet physically. Since you came back from Liberia, we haven't met. So my first time
And
seeing you.
stay away from me a little bit because I came back under the weather again, and I've been struggling with it, fighting to
Yeah,
come alive. But it's been
yeah,
crazy. So good to
yes.
see you.
Wonderful. Good to see you. Glad to be here. As you said, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. I wanted to add my voice to yours to ask people to share the link and join and participate in the conversation. It's very critical. It's very important. It's about our country and the future of our country and our children's children.
Thank you, Tyrone Marshall, my man. What's going on? Uh, Good to see you. How's the LRN, the Liberia Returning Network? How is it going? Are you still in the States? Just hint me. But anyway, listen, you heard the lineup, but Mr. Zeze is here. His lighting is not too favorable. He's been backstage trying to, handle it. Liberia, my man. I know that generator or that LEC or that solar panel. I don't know which one he using, but he's still trying to straighten up. But overall, how you been?
Oh, me or Mrs.
Yeah,
Ziggy?
yeah, you, yeah.
Oh,
No,
oh, oh,
I'm
being
still
okay,
waiting on you.
okay, being okay. It's been hectic as always. This is America, as you know. You got to put in every second, every minute, every hour for whatever you get for your for the hustle. So other than that, it's been fine. It's been busy, of course. Been doing some things on following Liberia as well, and doing some things on Liberia. So that's
Yeah,
doing.
I see you. You put a lot of stuff out there on
Yeah, yeah,
the uh, the call for war and economic crime court.
yeah, yeah.
Also, looking at elections irregularities, the
Exactly.
propensity for our elections to be
Yeah.
kind of, you know.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So
that's good.
been busy, but it's been fine. It's been fine. Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
You were not here last week, but
Yeah. I was tied up at work.
last Tuesday, not last week. I meant to say.
Last Tuesday, I was tied up at work. I thought I would make it, but unfortunately, I got stuck. So I texted to Moses and said, "Man, I
All
can't."
right. I see
Can't
my
make
man, Papi Sandy. That's somebody. Papi Sandy.
Yeah, Papa
Welcome, man.
said it. Yeah, guys, how you doing,
Remember, you
man?
were had to never.
Papa,
No
Papa
hat.
Sandy, Papa Sandy is in the house, but
So, Mr.
guys,
Sandy,
yeah.
we have the chairman of the Liberian People's Party back in the background.
Oh, okay, good. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
we're gonna tease him a little bit, bring him
It's,
on, just heat
it's
him
a
up a little bit, and then let him go
the
into
LPP
conversation.
chairman. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
but
I believe he's poised and ready.
mhm. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I don't know where you have started with, but there's this breaking story that I really want to put out there. As I was driving to come to this podcast, I was listening to his
One about
point,
the
something
shooting,
that really
one
broke
about
my
the
heart.
shooting in Nima.
Yeah, the situation in Nema
Okay.
that is going on. Look, Volcano, history tells us that when dictators are about to fall, you begin to see the symptoms. We saw that in 1989. We saw that with the late Samuel Doe. We saw that with Mr. Taylor, who is currently in prison. And we are seeing that with Mr. Weah. The symptoms are all over the place, the signs are all over the place. The administration is literally looting the public coffers just to retain power.
Hmm.
In this evening, while coming to this podcast, I listened to a report that emanated from Amara Konneh. It really broke my heart that the vice tenor bearer of the Unity Party reported that they have planned series of camping activities in some villages in Nimba. And he said he got a phone call from the gentleman referred to as Prince Kuompa. I don't know whether he's a son of the late General Thomas Kuompa, but Prince Kuompa reached out and told him that, hey, it won't be advisable for you and your people to come to one of the towns that the senator had planned to go to because he was having, a camping activity. And Senator uh, uh, Kuhn said that he told the gentleman that they had already made reach out to the National Elections Commission, and the commission had them on a schedule for campaign activities. So, but they kept going by. So he said he decided to put his activity up just to accommodate them. They put their campaign activity up in a number area there. And today they decided to reach out to some villages to campaign. When I say they are making reference to the senator, their supporters, including Senator Prince Johnson. And he said while they were driving to one of the villages, and they were in a convoy. He said before today they even reached out to the Justice Ministry and reported what was coming from Lima, and the Justice Ministry assured them that they would be protected. So the police deployed some officers, and the campaign started on the go footing. They went to a couple of villages, and they were heading to another village. Then Senator Prince Johnson allegedly called him. He said, "Hey, let the convoy pull over. I got something to show you." And they pull over, and the senator sent him, the senator showed him a text message, 7 letter from this gentleman that is simply referred to as Prince Kuompa, threatening and urging Senator Prince Johnson that, hey, whatever location you guys are headed to, if anything happened, the blood of the people in Nimba will be on your hand. So, based on that, they had their own discussion, according to Senator Kuhn, and they decided to let the group go ahead, and then they will follow. So the advanced team went ahead while they were driving in the back. He said they drove to one of the villages or one of the towns. When they enter, even in the presence of police officers, this gentleman referred to as Prince Kuompa, with some of his supporters, allegedly opened fire on one of the pickers. And in that picker, there were supporters, of the Unity Party. In the process, 7 persons got wounded critically, and people are in hospital. The senator also reported that in Grand Jita County, the entire Southeast, I heard Mo Ali also say the same thing, that all of these areas have become no-go area for Unity Party supporters.
Wow.
What kind of country is this, Volcano? What is happening in Liberia? What is Mr. Weah doing?
But well, Moses, pause you there. When you give hooligans power, the last thing you want to do is to give hooligans power. And I'm not saying it with any fear. I'm saying
Yeah.
it with facts. You give rebel power, you got what it sounds like. A civilian government should operate within the confines of the law as a civilian government. And when people begin to do things like a lawless society, a renegade society, a hooligan society, a gangster society, that civilian government, clothed with the power inherent by the people through the electoral process, you must act in keeping with the laws.
Absolutely.
Alfonso, you can tell me because you are
Yeah,
the legal
yeah.
mind.
No,
It's
definitely.
scaring.
Yeah,
Very scary.
yes. So I did send a post today to the rendezvous with photographs of what supposedly happened in Nema. So when you have time, you can look at it. And
Okay.
I guess Moses saw the video. I didn't see the video. I saw photographs that were posted by somebody who was in, who said he was in the Jeremiah Cohn's convoy when they came on a fire. So he
Mhm.
posted photos of bullets through the
Yeah.
windshields of the car and all of those things. But you're right, Volcano. You're right, Moses. When power starts to slip away from the hands of dictators, they get desperate. They get desperate and they do these kinds of things. I also did hear the information. I mean, I'm sure you all heard how this Ghanaian national who was hired by
Yeah.
Unity Party went to the Southeast to train people, train,
Hmm.
election monitors and stuff, was arrested by the government. What
They
is,
could,
what
they,
is,
they could bring people from Israel.
Oh
exactly,
The
yeah.
other day, yeah, they could
exactly,
bring people from Israel, take away, put them in room 309.
yeah,
They
yeah.
do anything they could. Yeah.
What's happening is in the first round, the Unity Party did not do a very good job at manning the polls in the Southeast.
Hmm.
And reports are that the ruling party had a field day. in the southeast. So this time around, the Unity Party has decided it will do all it can to protect the vote in the southeast and to play in the southeast. The ruling party is saying that if that were to happen, that they're on the verge of losing. So of course they're desperate and they're doing everything. And another thing they're trying to do is to scare people away from the polls.
Of course.
Nimba, for instance, is going to turn out very massively. If you look at how they turned out in the first round and what's happening now, they turn out very massively and it's likely to be in favor of the Unity Party. So what do? You create acts of violence to intimidate people so people get afraid and do not go to the polls. That is the strategy. This strategy happened in Lofa, it happened in Nimba. It happened in Monrovia. It happened other places in the first round. It also happened in Grand Jita, other places in the first round. And that's exactly the same playbook that the CDC seems to be going back to. Let's create all kind of violent situations and intimidate people so people will be scared and not go to the polls. So the United Party people don't even go to these polling places, and then we can do whatever we want to do there. But I think, as you are correctly said, there has to be resistance against these kinds of things. And
And,
I
and
hope
you know,
Brother Zeze, who's on
yeah,
the
I know. Yeah,
ground in Liberia,
that's why I want to bring him
yeah,
in now
can speak
instead
to
of
that.
holding
Yeah,
him. Maybe he may
Yeah.
wait before we
Hmm.
yeah,
even go
yeah,
into the crust of the
Sure.
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say before I bring the brother in, President Weah, I want you to listen to me. If you cause Liberia to degenerate into a crisis, you can't hide. You
Yep.
can't.
No.
You can't run. You can't hide. You can't run. There is nowhere on the face of this earth will keep you.
Yep.
For all that country has gone through and for the 20 years plus gains that have been made to stabilize it, and you sit there and let hooligans come and destroy what has been built over the years, the money's put in that country by the international community, not by Liberia's own robust economy, but many of the things that have happened in Liberia is donor money.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
The same donor money you're stealing and doing your things with. But at the end of the day, if you don't keep the peace in that country and you let it to degenerate, there's no way you can hide. I'm just want to make that a soundbite. You cannot hide.
And
Yeah.
Onus is on you to fight
yes.
to sustain the peace. And if
Yep.
you've never spoken before, toward November 14th, this is the time you must mount the podium to address the Liberian people and to address those people who have been on violence, except you're part of the whole scheme to sustain
Of course.
power or to retain
Yep.
power. But
Of course.
otherwise, you can't hide and you can't run. Nowhere will keep you. I just wanted to put that up. Let me welcome.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to say something quick?
Yeah, you can bring it, but I just wanted to add on because you talk about, that whatever happens, the president take full responsibility. Senator couldn't even accuse the president because when this thing here happened, the police reportedly arrested some of the perpetrators of the crime. They were imprisoned, and Senator Kuhn reported to Liberians that Mr. Weah allegedly has given directive for those people to be released with immediate effect.
Wow.
Can you
Wow.
imagine that?
Wow. All right. Let's.
People wounded
Yeah.
critically.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's welcome. Jay Yankwe Zeze is the chairman or former chairman since the party is now deciding to lay
He's,
the
he's
rest.
still he's still me.
Uh, I, okay, let's put it that way, chairman. He will break it down for us of the Liberia People's Party, headed by Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. Of course, they didn't make it to the final round, which is this round that is coming up. We thought to bring him on tonight just to weigh in and share with us why they decided to concede during the count of the votes and also look at that endorsement and the splinter in the endorsement, because I know for a fact I saw some of the other folks in the party decided to go with the incumbent. Mr. Zizi, sorry your lighting is so bad. It's never been improved, but
Yeah.
the most important thing is the content and your voice. Folks can rarely see you as it is, but welcome to the Issues Room. This is your second time. I remember during the campaign of the LPP, you stopped by and were able to charm and have a conversation. Welcome.
Thank you, Alphonso. Moses Sandy and Keno L. Shelton. Thank you for inviting me. As you stated correctly, this is my second time. I'm sorry the lighting is not helping me. I thought I was going to have it better than this time around. The last time again was the lighting, of course, poor reception. Thank you very much. The Liberian People's Party, unlike other parties, does not have political leader. So after the election, the first round, the vice standard bearer, the standard bearer, and the senators or representatives that ran on the tickets are now called formal candidates. They will be eligible come 2029 if they apply and win the position to be the standard bearer or vice standard bearer. For the position, the chairman of the party, we are elected for 6 years.
Okay.
And the National Executive Committee elected for 6 years. So until the 6 years come by, we are still currently acting as the leaders of the party. So I hope that can correct the story that we are formal. We are not. But quickly, let me just go back to the issue of the activities, especially violent activities that are taking place in the different places Alphonso mentioned correctly. I've always told my colleagues, the well-off, those who are benefiting from the spoil society or economic system are quiet. The accountants, the lawyers, the real estate owners, the business people, the NGOs, the experts that are working in Liberia are quiet. Why would, for example, the EU, the ambassador, the former and the current ambassador from the United States of Liberia,
You mean America?
are saying that the government is using state resources to finance the election. And we think it's going to be free and fair. Why is that possible? I can't just understand. I had political parties, especially progressive parties, attempted to say, those are troublemakers. But I'm saying to you, you heard the EU, and this is what happened in 1989 when the United States under Ronald Reagan decided to audit the late President Samuel Tweah, and Samuel Tweah refused to accept the economic advice from the United States of America. And what happens? War took place. So we're facing the same thing. If you see a man, a leader, deciding to shift resources from the country to finance the election in order to sustain himself, what else do we expect him not to do? He has given you an indication that he will do everything to remain in power. And that's why today we had a press conference, because we thought it wasn't fair for the Liberian people, for the Millennium Challenge Corporation to give the rating that Samuel Tweah is claiming that the government received. That is, they did well, government did well. We think that should not be the picture. We think if the experts from Millennium Challenge Corporation review the numbers from the Central Bank of Liberia, from the government of Liberia, they will know that the government is doing worse than before. They have shifted income from the budget. They have refused to disclose money they receive to be included in the budget as resources of the government to be used for programs for, in fact, financing the campaign and financing their personal expenses. That's not what we should be doing. But the well-off is saying nothing. The lawyers, the accountants, the business people, the NGOs experts are quiet. And we expect for things to change. We expect for President Weah and his cronies to say we're going to obey the law. When the EU representatives of European Union and the American officials are telling us that Weah is not respecting the law. Weah is violating the law Liberia created, the public management law 2009. They are violating it, and we are quiet. We expect the political parties to perform miracles, to take guns, but we can't take guns. We are calling on the public to begin to notice and reject Weah and the cronies from coming back to power. That's what we should be doing. But see what many of the other people are doing. They are supporting and endorsing President Weah, that it is okay. You can shift the resources of the government, of the people, of the taxpayers, finance your campaign, use it to build your real estate properties. And, we will say, okay, because we ourselves are benefiting from that spoiled system. But yet we blame the poor people for accepting bag of rice. We blame the children for accepting T-shirts to vote for these people, when we, the at least well-off citizens, are doing the same because we are quiet. The late Tip O'Neill of Massachusetts said that politics is local. If you think you are affected and you are feeling the pain, then we should talk. But I guess those who are rich or better off are not feeling the pain and they are not talking. The killings are taking place in villages. We are living in ghetto homes, so we don't see the chaos that's taking place around the city, around the country. Until we can begin to act, the country is going to go down the drain. I mean, go around, go to Macklin streets. You got more sellers than buyers. I'm not surprised that they are killing in Nimba. Taylor did it before. I know I have friends of mine who were campaigning for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and they beat them up in Lofa County. That's what detectives do. So we should not be surprised that Weah is doing the same thing. So whether you have pictures or not, Weah is going to do it because he wants to remain in power. Why would he want to leave when he is realizing that, in fact, people are beginning to insist on investigation and prosecution? So why you think he is going to say, okay, I will allow the process to take place as expected, and I will be out of office, and I will be subjected to prosecution? The same thing the lawmakers, the warlords we elected our lawmakers are doing. These were lawmakers who were involved in prosecuting the Civil War and killing innocent people. We elected them, and we expect them to change the law to be prosecuted. I mean, I don't know how that is possible. Interestingly, it appears like Liberia is the only country in Sierra Leone. They didn't allow many of the warlords to participate in election. In Liberia, we allow it. And that's why we are having what we're having today. Many of the seditionists are former warlords. So let me stop there.
Thank you so much. But Moses, this was just the intro from the incident today that you wanted to mention, and I thought we talked about it, and I think he threw the best light on it so far. But we invited Honorable Zize here tonight as the current chairman of the LPP, just to talk about the endorsement of the Unity Party, but also, as I said, I saw clippings on social media that shows that there is a split. So you guys can start off, and I will follow up with questioning before we move into the next segments of our broadcast tonight.
Okay. Chumazeze, let me start off with you. I just want you to please help educate us and our many viewers out there, because there's this, statement out there that any candidate, any presidential hopeful that failed to accumulate less than the 2% of the total votes cast in an electoral process, that person is automatically disqualified from contesting. Is that true? As chairman, do you know
Well,
of
in
any
fact,
law?
well, if you, I will ask you to visit the different political parties that participated in election in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
2017, and 2023, and see if all the political parties that participated met the specific requirement you're talking about. Then I will come back to you. Go through the list and see. You will see many political parties or some political parties that participated did not meet that requirement. The election commission did not ask questions because the election commission itself has realized that it's a constitutional violation to say that you cannot participate in election because you didn't have one lawmaker elected and you have less than 2%.
No, I'm
Go
talking
back.
about at the level of the presidency. Is
But
there any law that says that?
that's what I'm saying. The election commission created a law, but in violation of the constitution. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
And that's why they are not willing to try to enforce that law
Oh,
because there are political parties that feature presidential candidates and did not get the 2%, and neither did they have any of the candidates lawmakers elected, but they have been
okay.
participating because the election commission knows that it cannot enforce any law that is in violation of the constitution of Liberia.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the education.
So,
So
so if I
now,
may, oh, sorry, go ahead, Moses.
yeah, quickly. So a follow up now to this question would be: is there any split in the LPP regarding all these endorsement going out there? I know there's one group of people that say they stand with the Unity Party, and another group is with the ruling CDC. Do you have any split in your party right now?
I just want to find out, do you have any record, any picture to show that there's a split? Do we have members of the National Executive Committee in numbers in terms of there's a split? I don't
Uh,
see that. I have an individual, uh, in fact, constitutionally, he was never elected, a youth leader who, who claimed that he is a leader and representing the youth, and he went to endorse Weah. You know there's money passing around, so individuals are going to be tempted to follow the money. We're not going to worry over those individuals. The presidential candidate, the vice presidential candidate, all of our senators, with the exception of few, are with us. The members of the National Executive Committee are with us. Is there any indication or is there any story out there that you have group of people, members who are members of the National Executive Committee, or significant number of individuals that have gone out there to endorse we are? I haven't seen that. I saw the individual, we're calling Abraham Konneh, and then an individual, I think Angeline Toba, but those are individuals. Individuals are allowed to do what they have to do. Today, I said that we will institute a committee to investigate what they have done and see whether they can be prosecuted.
thank
Okay.
you.
Those are
So
individuals. That's not a split.
so that's a good clarification because yes, and the media has a way of writing these stories and they create that, make believe that it is a split, and it's good that you can be here to make the clarification. Alfonso, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you. And I think, Volcano, before I ask my question, I wanted to, piggyback on the point you made about the media. I would say that the Liberian media, the role that the Liberian media is playing in this election is very disgraceful and despicable. And I hope that after this process, a lot of them can be held accountable by, the media bodies like the president and other organizations, but also by the Liberian people. Some of the way they write their stories in the report, just apart from them not even knowing subject verb agreement, don't even do any analysis and everything, and it's I mean, it's so crazy. So I'm glad that you raised that. But Chairman Zeze, I had a question for you. We all know that the LPP endorsed the Unity Party. I'm sure the Liberian people want to know. Additionally, I'm sure you did mention that in your endorsement program. Why did you endorse the Unity Party and Ambassador Boakai? And secondly, what are you doing besides the endorsement? What are you doing to make sure that that, or are you doing anything to make sure that they are elected?
Oh, clearly, for us, the National Executive Committee did not participate in deciding. We allowed the members. We took votes. We had a meeting on a Saturday, and we called on people to register in terms of their interest, and we tallied the numbers to see whether we had majority. Everywhere we went, whether it were the diaspora members, sympathizers, whether they were candidates that participated as, aspirants for the 2023 election, they were in the majority. And they decided the way to go was to vote the Unity Party. But besides that, see what is happening in Liberia today. I'm saying to you, if you don't have to be an economist, you don't have to be smart, you will know very well that the country is dead. The country is dead. I mean, people not taking paid. People, the ambassador told you he visited the 15 counties, money appropriated in the budget, not spent on roads, on qualified teachers, on hospitals, clinics. What else do you want to know? I mean, isn't that sufficient for any political party to say, I'm going to look for change? That's sufficient. I criticize Borkai in many of my debates and presentations, but you're comparing Borkai to George Weah. I mean, it should not be a question. That's why we didn't wait to ask for anything. We didn't do that. We said based on principles and the interests of the country, we think the best thing to do is to get somebody who has the interests of Liberia at heart and make a change, or at least give him a chance. Weah has been given 6 years, and we'll see what he has done. Why go back to somebody who refused to respect the rules of the game? He's changing the goalposts every now and here and there. Look what he did to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. This man was just protecting an individual, an employee. Like the Deputy Minister said, or the former Deputy Minister said, why didn't Mr. Weah institute a committee to investigate the story? But Ryder decided to punish the man for protecting an employee.
So, sir, so
So it was easy.
here's one of the things that I was looking at. It says CDC headquarters. The LPP chairman of 185 candidates endorses the re-election bid of President Weah. The
Excuse
LP
me,
chairman,
candidate of 185.
yeah, is right here. So, do you know? Let me play this quick so we can see what's going on. I'll push it forward just so you have a hint. Because when a caption is written like this, it says CDC headquarters. That's where the endorsement took place. LPP chairman of 185 candidates endorses the re-election bid of President Weah. Okay, so again, like I said, the media has a role to play in how they caption, you know, the things they want to present to the public. But let's see what it's saying here. Unfortunately, it's not that. The man came to endorse, but he's scared to talk.
So we all gathered together as 185 candidates to read endorse the president's of the Republic of Liberia run-off election. So this is Amara Konneh, and so the Liberian people will want to know exactly some of the things that you can tell them why you want to re-elect this president. The Liberian people that are watching will want to know exactly why you want to re-elect this president. I want to re-elect, and our group are re-electing the president for the future of our country. Because we know in ourselves, with the 6 years, the president of the Republic of Liberia that stays in power for, we all observe that. For me, I never take him, that kind of a way granted in terms of not doing the good of the Liberian people. I know what he did for the past. It will serve.
So how did this guy become an official in the party that may cannot even articulate his intent to endorse the president? Mr. Yankwe, because this is LP.
That's the beauty of democracy.
He's
Okay.
a German
The
that he's
party was
talking about.
open up to everybody.
Okay.
And we felt that, in fact, we should kind of encourage those who don't have money to participate. But you have seen that many times our minutes of meetings are displayed. So you can see that we have a lot of insiders. Now, what was the total number of candidates that ran on our tickets? It didn't reach 100. We got 50% of what? The 73. We got 50% of the 15. So if we are close to 37, 38 to 6, that's close to 44 total. So how you came to 185? I mean, that's what we're saying. The media.
No, but it ain't come from the media. It came from the man's mouth. How do you attribute that to the media?
No, but the media, if somebody says something, can you verify it before saying it?
No, Mr. Chairman, the man was having the news conference and he explained himself. So you cannot attribute that statement to the media.
No, but
So the media
before you read the story, can't you check to see whether the number is even correct? The man said 185, and the party only put up not less than 50. So how did he get 185?
Yeah, they could have followed up. I think I agree with you that they could have followed up. How could he prove the 185 he was talking about? But the point I was trying to make to you is that the comment that he made, that did not emanate from the media. It came from him.
And that's why they're quoting.
But the media has a responsibility not to just report whatever anybody says, though.
Alphonso, let us not cheat the media here.
Yeah.
In that moment, the media, because it's a quote coming from this man who is representing the LPP, they will dispense that or disseminate that information. But then if it becomes a matter of rebuttal, then they can probe further. But the LPP did not even rebut it as we're talking. And that's
I think Mr. Zeze can come in and speak to that point. But as a journalist myself, as a trained journalist, which we are, three of us are here, it's the role of the media before you report anything to verify it. It's the role of the and I'm coming. It's also It's also the role of the journalist to make sure your story is balanced before you report it.
But
so there is. I'm coming.
You're representing the political party, and you come to the podium to speak. I'm only recording what you say.
Recording and playing it.
No. When I record what you say, then I have a responsibility, don't I, guys? Very quickly, 10 seconds. Don't I have a responsibility after Moses says something about Volcano to also call Volcano and asking this why Moses said, do you have a point before I report it? That's what balance is.
Absolutely.
What is
So
balance? What is objectivity?
Agree,
What
agree.
is I'm coming. What in journalism is balance? What in journalism is objectivity? What in journalism is doing your own research to establish facts?
yeah, okay. But what we want you, what Volcano and I
Yeah,
are saying, yeah, is
Mhm.
that this guy was addressing a news conference. That's
Yes,
electronic conversation.
yeah. So we're
yes.
taking that information into sync.
So he threw out
Mhm,
information. Yes, it is
mhm,
true. It is the media's responsibility, to counter check.
mhm,
But the point I'm making here is the number came directly from either the former chairman or the current chairman of the youth wing throwing the 185 out there. That cannot be
mhm,
attributed to the media. It is he who said it. It is the media responsibility to counter check that. The media can say,
mhm,
yeah, the mayor said 185, but our records show that in fact the party did not even put up 50 candidates. They can do
exactly.
that.
Mhm.
We can
Yes,
accept that.
they did do that.
You know,
They did do that. Have they
no,
done that?
we are listening to an audio that is being played,
That's all we're
and
saying.
that's a
So the
discussion we
reason
having.
why, the reason why, and I think we're wasting unnecessary time. We can go for, but the reason why journalists are given an opportunity to ask questions after a newsmaker speaks at a press conference is to
Mhm.
counter the newsmakers and check their facts and question them on what they're saying and the numbers and all of that. You and I can sit here, Moses, and know how many candidates each political party put up because we can do our research. We can also sit here, and that's the reason why we have the opportunity to ask questions after somebody addresses a press conference. And I think part of the problem in Liberia is Liberian journalists will go and whatever the person says at the press conference is what they report the following day
You mean you
verbatim in the
mean you want to
newspaper.
say today's Liberian journalists?
Yes, verbatim in the newspaper. If the person issues a press release, exact press release they will publish in the newspaper as a story. We need to question them on that. That is totally wrong. We know there's something called balance. So when somebody
Oh
says
yeah,
something, you want to balance the story before you report
cross
it.
check. Yeah.
There's objectivity. So you speak to the next people. That story, that reporting, I don't know, but Mr. Ziz is here. Whether anybody reached out to them to balance the story or to
No,
count to report a rebuttal or anything. I think
but
we
Okay.
we
as journalists have
I,
a very important role to play, and we need to hold ourselves and our colleagues accountable.
okay.
Okay.
Let's
Move
address another
forward.
issue.
Let's
He
not.
said
Yeah,
he's a representative. When was he elected from the 185? Did he have a convention? Did he announce they're gonna have an election for he to be elected to be representing 185? How he became the representative?
So,
Most of the
Chairman Zeze, do you know this gentleman?
yeah, we know Abraham Konneh. I know him.
Okay.
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 Let me
No,
And
come.
who
he
does he represent?
I,
he we were organizing ourselves and we felt that we should bring in more people.
Okay.
And he was selected, not even elected at the convention, to lead and recruit more people. But his recruitment ended just in Monrovia County. Go around and find out in Lufa County. In fact, many of the times he had problem with me not allowing him to go to the different counties. And I told him, no, sir. If you are the youth leader of the Liberian People's Party in the 15 counties, we should not carry you to Lufa County. We should not carry you to Nimba County. You contact your youth members in Nimba County to wait for us. We should not be sending you there. When there's a program by the NEC training people in Bomi or Cape Mount, he wants to go. I said, no, sir. We're training people. You should be training people from Cape Mount, not you. So
Yeah.
you see the problem we have with him.
Okay.
But we didn't want to waste our time talking about he's expelled or he's not going to be because we felt that was going to shift our efforts from promoting our candidates, from campaigning to focusing on minor issues. Now let's go back to the most important issue somebody asked. What
Yeah.
are we doing? If you there are pictures, I can forward them to you that the vice presidential candidate, the former vice presidential candidate of LPP, was in Bunk Country today. And then he went to Nimba. In fact, he appeared on a radio show and spoke to Nimbanians to vote for JNB and the Unity Party ticket. From there, he was in his car, moving from town to towns, informing people that the best choice, the best time to make a decision, it is this time, because you'll be deciding whether you have schools, whether you have clinics, whether you have qualified teachers in your school. So we're doing that. We are campaigning. Today, when we had a press conference, we told the journalists and the world that we should stay with Borkai and elect him, because he's not going to shift money away from the budget to finance his personal properties, or at least to purchase his home, as we see with George Weah, who built 18 complexes in less than 8 months. In less than 8 months. And painted in colors that you can be far away and see, and telling the Liberian people, yes, you elected me, I'm here to see you. I'm stealing, and you can see the pictures far from wherever you are.
I like
That's
the
the kind of-
emphasis.
mean,
Mr.
you
Chairman,
tell
I
me-
like the emphasis.
Let me come in quick, Mr. Chairman. Politics is about interest. What's in it for me? What is in it for the LPP endorsement of the JNB?
No, the old politics is about interest.
Okay, what's the new
Those
politics?
of us from the progressive camp, never about interest of ourselves. And that's why Boyman Fahnbulleh, our big brother, our senior brother, was addressing the media that when Weah came, he had a program with FLA, Federation of Liberian Youth. And he told them that, oh, you have people with PhDs, and they've been running around here for 60 years, and they don't have houses. They don't have bicycles. They don't have offices. And Boyman was saying, we came, we're 18, 20 years of age with PhD. We didn't come to get houses. So that's not personal interest. We came to see how we can liberate Liberia. And that's why they didn't worry about buying homes, buying properties. No. And you can see many of our colleagues around. Check the Liberian People's Party. Yes, we might have 1 or 2 rotten apples, but majority are not involved in acquiring wealth. No. So it's not personal interest. It's the interest of the country. That's why we decided to support JNB and the Unity Party, because we believe Liberia is in an ICU. And the only way we can help to remove Liberia from the ICU is to have somebody else at the executive mansion. Not somebody who is well entertained, that he does not have the time to focus on anything. We can't afford that. And I'm appealing to the rich people, the well-off, the people who are lending money to this government. We are warning you, stop giving them money. We are warning international money lenders to stop giving money to individuals, to a government that's misusing the money. Because if you do it, you're doing it at your own risk. We were campaigning to say that you were in cahoot with this government because you want to make interest income. You didn't care to do due diligence to find out whether his credit worth it or whether the government is able to pay. We think it's wrong for any money lender, whether you are a local merchant or whether you are president of the commercial bank, to lend money to this government. We are asking the Unity Party that within 100 days, one of the things that the Unity Party should do is to begin to file lawsuit against all of these economic advisors who are creating papers to mislead the international community that they're doing better than we know what the things are. We are saying it is wrong, and that's what we're doing. That's what today we had a press conference. We informed the public that you got to go out and vote JNB, because that's the only way we can change this man. And we are telling people we should stop doing business with this government as we did in South Africa.
Let me ask my last question, because we're going to wrap up with you soon. So the issue here for me, many people are saying What is the track record of Joseph Boyka? So what is it that you folks saw in Joseph Boyka that you endorsed him, that he could be different, that he could make a change for Liberia? What is it? Because people
Joseph
say,
Boca has been doing 18 complexes since he been in government.
come
George Weah
again,
did that.
come again.
Joseph Boca did not build the number of properties that Weah has done. He, among his advisors, we don't have
But he's not.
Nathaniel
He's
McKinney,
never been
SPE,
privileged to the president. Mr. Youngwood, to be fair to now, he's never been privileged to the presidency. He's
Vice
never been.
President,
No, he's never been privileged.
Minister of Agriculture,
He's still never been privileged to the
Managing
presidency.
Director of LPMC.
But he's still never been privileged to the presidency.
Well, but he asked us to have at least done something that will make you. What's about Nathaniel McKinney? He was not president, and he told you it's better to steal as long as you can invest the money in Liberia.
That's good. That's a good point. I just wanted to push you further. So you made
Well,
it.
I'm telling you, we know it. Go look, my friends, go down Macklin Street. Go down the different streets. You see children in the street running behind motor cars, selling goods. We are saying it's bad to introduce children to the cultural society. They should be going to school. I'm telling you, I learned how to play football. Now, one of the best footballers. But today, I hate to see people playing football. Why? In the area I live, the children take a whole day as their recess to play football. Thursday, they come Thursday in the morning. The girl plays the kickball. The boys play the football from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Why? Why should we allow our students to spend more time on entertainment and not spending a lot of time on setting spelling bee tutorial classes? I've appealed to one of our good friends, I will not call his name. We need to help to at least finance tutorial classes in our communities. I'm appealing to all of you guys. You don't have to do it through the political party. Look for a community. Look for some students. Pay them, let them teach those students who are far behind. At least you will be discouraging them to go play football because he knows the time he spent to teach a younger student, he's going to earn $5 a month. He's going to earn $10 a month. That's a lot. Can we create programs to distract the students from being entertained, involved? I mean, you go when European games, the children are not studying, they are watching the games because everybody believes that it is easier to be very rich when you become an entertainer. Do we begin to do something, please, to all of you guys? You don't have to wait for a political party to approach you. Look for a senator, look for a representative, contact them and say, look, from now on, I want to see whether you can begin to plant peanuts in your home. I want to see whether you can begin to plant cassava. You don't have to spend too much money with him. Give him $50, let him start from there. Let him cut area and begin to plant cassava, at least peanuts or cola nut. You can sell cola nut and make money in Liberia because we eat it. Can we begin to do that? Please. We need to change Liberia, but the change got to come from us.
So, Mr. Chairman, just two questions.
This is the last round because we got to move to the next segment.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, just two questions I want to put to you quickly. The message you're preaching tonight is the same message that the 19 political parties in Liberia, the opposition, or the 18 opposition political parties in Liberia preached. That Liberia is, the current Liberia, today's Liberia is in the intensive care unit. There's leadership deficit. So then how do you reconcile that at a time like this, when you have one opposition party that qualified to go for the runoff election, going against the incumbent, and you see political parties that consider themselves to be opposition, their leaders, flocking in the numbers towards the CDC.
Money.
Do you see that as inconsistency?
Well, no, they're looking for money. We are to their own chat room, 50 million. I'm saying more than that. Just in, I send it a statement to my brother, Alphonso, telling him, if you look at our chart, if you look at the central bank report, the government got $150 million from commercial bank in 2022. 1 year. They didn't report that money. It should be reported according to the 2009 PFM law. They didn't report it. Why do you think they did with the money? That's the money they're using to buy votes, to buy influence, to promise people. Many people in Liberia, we haven't changed the attitude of seeking money the faster way, the quick way to get rich. The journalists will not carry your story if you don't give them too much money. I'm surprised that you didn't ask me for fees. You allow me to be talking here. In Liberia, no, you got to pay money. So money is driving the decisions of many of the people. Those of us who don't like money, that's why from day one, we didn't wait for 1 second. We decided to support the Unity Party because we want to change. We didn't want to be called upon to receive money. You see, people who voted one way today are changing their minds. And some people are saying they want to remain neutral. That's not neutrality, that's true. They got money, and that's why they don't want to be embarrassed to endorse the person, and they say they remain neutral. That's my own view on it. So that's why many of them are voting for CDC. It's all about money. It's not about change. Because if you say this government is in the ICU, we tired, and then you turn around and say, I'm neutral. You can't say you're tired in August and you say you're neutral.
In October.
Yeah, no, that's not possible. Something is wrong. Money changed hands. That's all I can say.
Are you saying that Mr. Cummings took money?
I didn't give anybody a name. I'm saying to you, he asked for inconsistency.
Okay.
I'm saying to you, there's a clear inconsistent attitude on the part of Cummings. In August, he said the government created economic conditions that the poor are tired suffering. So how can he come this time around and say he does not see a difference between Weah and Buckeye?
Is that insanity?
But you see, you gone too far.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, Moses, you're done. Alphonso,
Thank you.
quick, let's hear from you.
No, I think Chairman Zeze has hit the nail on every head. So I don't think I have any more question. In the interest of time, I'll pass it on to you. But I think one of the people he was referring to, when he said he would not call name, but he want people to contribute, towards helping young people in the community. I think I'm one of the people. Full disclosure. But as I said, I will send my contribution. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Zeze, we're about to let go of you, but the
It was
final
a pleasure.
is for you to implore on the Liberian people, send a message out for November 14. What is it that the LP now supporting and endorse the UP are saying to the Liberian people come November 14? That's your final message for.
Tomorrow we'll be in the float, galvanizing the public, informing the public. We'll be with Unity Party tomorrow with our T-shirts, with both Tiawon Gonglo and Yakbawuro on one side, JNB and of course Kun on one side, telling the Liberian people that LPP is for Unity Party. Let's go out and vote. Tomorrow we'll have our own float that we will be campaigning tomorrow, Saturday, because Unity Party is launching the campaign tomorrow, and we are going to be there. 72nd Street is where we will be assembling. All of our members have been told, and they will be there. So tomorrow we're going to be campaigning. In fact, many of our partisans are campaigning in different places. Like I said, the vice president, he been out there. When we visited the Honorable Joseph Nima Boka's residence 3 weeks ago, he collected campaign materials to carry to begin to vote, or to begin to ask people to remember to vote in JNB as president. So we have started working long ago. And that's why today we had a press conference to tell the people that JNB is the best to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take leave of you because we know your time now on that end is far into the morning. But thank you so much. We'll look forward to future conversation. It was good having you. Let's try to improve the lighting. You're selling
Thank you.
current. You're selling electricity to Ivory Coast, and you're liking even shine.
No, that's a
Thank you,
good
Mr.
question.
Chairman.
I like you brought that back. I want you guys, the journalists, to find out who are the shareholders of this electricity company and supplying electricity to people who do
So
not
the
have the means
chairman
to
giving
pay.
us assignment.
Yes, you give electricity to people in Grand Judah, but they're making $2 a day. So you're trying to hook the government that the government is going to be subsidizing electricity, in essence, forcing the government to pay fees for electricity that the residents cannot afford. Who are the shareholders?
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Zizi.
So, gentlemen, we're going to let him go because I know it's late on that end. But listen, we
Yeah.
got things to talk about here tonight. And one of the things we wanted to consider, and we mentioned in the introduction, is the issue of our man Henry Fahnbulleh Jr., who was terminated by President Weah, considering his involvement the other day with Margaret Cummings, the lady who worked at a permanent mission um, in New
New York.
York at the UN headquarters representing Liberia, who did mention a sexual harassment allegation against the former permanent representative to the UN at the time, representing Liberia, D. Maxwell Kemayah, who was called to Liberia and made foreign minister. And we have yet to know what has happened with that allegation. So the other day, the woman went by and she was, trying to enter because she says she has not received any letter, formal letter terminating her service. And because I believe she said that the litigation is ongoing, and so it would be preposterous for the permanent mission there to terminate her service. So apparently they're holding on, and so she went there and she was denied. They called police. So then she called Liberia directly and spoke with Henry Fahnbulleh Jr., who is the deputy minister. And accordingly, what he said, one thing I remembered, he didn't say anything incriminating from what we heard, but those guys went in the back. And so was he on the phone behind the scene when the police went in, the mission to talk further with the folks who were there, stopping Margaret Cummings from entering? So this Henry says something that embarrassed the government accordingly from what he wrote, um, in his press release. So I want to play something, but I would like to quickly just look at for the benefit of those who have not seen what was written by uh, the former minister. He has a letter or a press statement that he sent out, and I'd just like to run through it quick. Then I play the clip, and then we discuss quickly. So this is Wednesday, November 8th. For those of you who don't know, 2023, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, exercised his authority under Article 56A of the 1986 Constitution to relieve me of my position as Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. On behalf of my family and in my own name, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to President Weah for the opportunity accorded me to serve in his government from June 2019 to November 8th, 2023. It was indeed a wonderful experience. In times like these, fellow compatriots will crave that I explain the why out of defense, or rather out of deference of the institution of the presidency. I will refrain from going in depth, notwithstanding it is important that I provide some peripheral information. So what he's saying here is that people will be inquisitive to know why the president fired him, but because of the president's office and the respect for the president's office, he would just provide peripheral information. So on Monday, November 6, 2023, I intervened in a saga at the permanent mission of the Republic of Liberia to the United Nations in a live video recording involving Miss Wani Cummings, a local staff, and some New York City cops. Foreign Minister Kemayah had ordered that cops, police, be called in to prevent Miss Cummings from entering the office. I then speak directly to the cops and introduce myself as the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, whose key duties include the supervision of all foreign missions. It is noteworthy that Ms. Cummings has accused Minister Kemayah of sexual harassment while he was serving in our permanent representative, or rather as our permanent representative at the United Nations. Said complaint was formally lodged to me in September 2020 as then acting minister following the resignation of the then minister Weah Finley in July 2020. In the exercise of my fiduciary responsibility, I also spoke to the cops on the subject matter as well. So he's giving us a story that he was then acting minister when Kemayah was permanent representative at the United Nations when the sexual harassment issue came out in 2020. And he was giving a background story to the cops who was depriving or denying Ms. Cummings from entering the permanent mission as an employee. So on Tuesday, November 7th, 2023, I started to receive many calls from some senior functionaries of government with close ties to the presidency, whose names I would not mention here, that my statement to the cops validated Ms. Cummings' allegation against the minister or Minister Kemayah, and that I should retract because it embarrassed the government. Some of the calls went up to midnight on Tuesday. I was in no mood to oblige to such requests because that was a statement of fact. So it did not come much as a surprise to me for President Weah to have wielded his constitutional powers to relieve me of my duties as the principal Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. What baffled me, though, was the speed by which such action was taken. When the simplest action to constitute an independent committee to probe into the myriad of similar allegations which some of our development partners have found credible and had taken action has been largely ignored. So, for instance, the Nathaniel McGay issue, the bill to all these things, the president not bothering with it.
No.
But this man tried to do his job. The president takes quick action. I believe that every man or woman must own up to his own action. This is the call of accountability. I want to thank all of those I interacted with during the course of my service. I will cherish the fond memories we had, and to my dedicated staff, you all were excellent, and I wish the best of luck. The wellness calls and text messages were just overwhelming, and I salute you. Finally, they say that if you don't want to be fired, don't be hired. With this, once again, I extend my thanks to His Excellency President Weah for the privilege to serve in his government, and I wish him all the best. To God be the glory. Honorable Henry Burma Fahnbulleh, former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Liberia. So that was what he sent out. So again, it was peripheral information, but they talked about him embarrassing the government. So let me go to the clip quick and play the clip, and we'll go from there.
Hello, Maggie, they just called the cops on me. Can you see me?
So this is the
One
woman
second, let me turn
calling
this around.
Henry. Okay, she's calling Henry in Liberia.
No, he's here. Yes, the officer Maggie came outside just now. I'm on Facebook Live so they can see these are the cops. She called the cops and said, "This is the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs I'm on the phone with, just so you know. He have a higher power over the lady that just came out here." She called the cops and said, "I'm not a staff at the ministry, and I'm not authorized to be in this building." Hello? Oh no, he can hear you. Let me hold on a second. Here you go. That's the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. My name is Henry Fahnbulleh, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Okay. Do you have a badge or anything? Do you have a badge?
Hello?
Do you have an ID or?
He asked you, did you ask her for her ID when she came out here? Did you ask her for her ID?
She clearly came out of there.
Yeah.
you asked the minister for his ID, but you didn't ask her for her ID, and you said that she's over me.
No, let me screenshot my ID and send it to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, Daddy. Hurry up, come back.
Let me just tell you something. You don't want to get involved in this. I'm just saying. Okay, this is way bigger than you guys.
Let me show that my dignity. You want my picture ID or you want my business?
Sir, you're in a polo shirt right now. I don't really know.
Okay, you being condescending right now, Officer Berman.
Well, he's in a polo shirt. I can't tell who he actually
He's
is.
the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm not going to make up a lie and call somebody. He will show you his ID information if that's what you need. Don't be condescending to him.
Why wouldn't you come with him if
Because he's in Liberia. That's why. I'll call him directly. He's in Liberia. But the next person I will call is the president. If you guys still want to be here.
You want me to send it to you, sir?
Send it to my WhatsApp and I will show it to him.
Can you just hold it up to the?
Okay, he said if you can just hold it up.
Hold it up?
Yeah, hold it up to the camera. You want to hold the phone? You can hold the phone. Okay, you can make it bigger. Hold on. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it's not. I don't know.
It is going. It's flipping it.
Oh.
Click that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So why don't you guys get in contact with the people here and let her in? Because like I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a complaint. There's a complaint against the minister.
Okay.
I think the DSS State Department, everyone is aware, and I supervise the foreign mission, and the investigation is ongoing.
So let me stop there. He's trying to articulate and clarify for this officer who has been called to the scene to take this woman off the premises because why? She's not welcome. Kemayah tells the folks in the permanent mission to call police to remove her from the premises, right? Mm-hmm. So I believe Henry Fahnbulleh is the Deputy Minister for Administration. It just didn't say it there, but I'm thinking because if he's there,
he said it. He said he runs administration and he runs.
Okay. What I'm saying, I'm saying that in his stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Clarify. He just said Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. That's why it's good to put your actual portfolio, whether for public affairs, whether for administration, whatever, right? But I'm assuming, and I stand by my position. But because he's the administration person, he runs these different foreign missions across the country. But at the time when he was acting minister, when Kemayah was more of a permanent representative representing, it means that he's the foreign minister at the time was higher than Kemayah, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he was just an ambassador at the United Nations. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to clarify to this guy who doesn't know anything that the case is not on the table. This is the case.
The matter of reprisal against someone who has lodged a complaint of harassment.
So he said it could be a reprisal against someone who has lodged a complaint. So is that a statement that embarrasses the government? Okay, so let's continue.
Sexual intimidation and exploitation. So the matter is registered. So this is
okay. So but why would the secretaries and everybody here not let her in then?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
They are operating at the behest.
Then put these guys in idiot.
I would take it because some of the guys just came out of high school, went to the academy.
Not educated at all.
I, I disagree though. I disagree.
Okay, we'll come back.
We'll talk. We'll
come
talk.
back.
Yeah.
We'll come
Police
back.
guys
We'll talk.
behaving very well. Yeah.
And that's the matter here. And this matter is it's public for us to know about.
But cannot go back small. Go back small.
I can't force them to.
You want me to go back small?
But look, we can't play the whole tape.
no.
We can
Yes,
just
go back.
summarize.
No. I'm not playing the whole tape. I'm trying to
No,
grab.
just go back 2 seconds.
Gentlemen, hold on. I'm
Just
trying
go
to
back
grab.
2 seconds. 1 second.
I'm coming. I'm trying to grab the excerpt of what Weah Fahnbulleh said. I edited this tape all the way because I want us to capture what embarrassed the government that led to his termination. That's all.
Everybody here, not let her in. Then.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
They are operating at the behest of the person, the alleged perpetrator. And that's the
So you hear it? You hear that? The alleged perpetrator is the one who gave the
Go ahead.
authorization to call police.
matter here. And this matter is it's public for us to know about.
All right,
There
but
is a platform.
but I can't force them to let her in. Like that's all.
He
Involved in the first place because there's not a police matter. They know about the jurisdiction that we're talking about.
right.
Nobody's breaking anything. No one's hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Innocent, so she has the right to serve because yeah.
But I mean, as of right now, I like. Can you work from home?
You can look me up.
No.
Sir.
Yeah. All right. Can she work from home? Is there any way she could work from home? That way, so it doesn't.
She work from home sometimes. She work in the office.
Yeah, I understand that, but like, why not for the time being until you guys have someone come here and fix it? Have her work from home. That way, it's not like a screaming match.
The last person that came here jumped me to fight. I filed an assault charge and then I have it on video. They jumped me to fight in the office. Okay? The U.S. mission is aware. Okay? And I'm getting the intel. Let me tell you something. When I went to
Why don't you just work from home for now?
I'm not no. I said this is all about injustice. I'm not working from home.
So you want to go to the place where people are trying to fight you?
And I will fight back. I will fight back. Okay? I fought on September. Yeah, I'm yes, sir. Hold on.
Are you there?
I'm trying to turn it around. I don't know how to turn it around. Oh
They
shit.
trying to turn around?
Yeah. 1 second.
Just as the patient was transferred
Yes, sir.
to Cornell, you can mark that.
Okay, so
Cornell.
my thing is,
You want to traffic court.
you know, explain to them on the details of it. Just let them know what is that.
He's only trying to listen just because he wasn't listening to me at first. You know, so I told him they can arrest me. I already sent message to the president and advised him that they have called the police on me.
Whatever arrest. Once we inquire, so I'm telling you, as an authority in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, already voiced of I'm giving him my details. So you can look at my details. So I'm saying to him, I'm explaining to him. He said, you work for the office. And then to work.
Can I speak to including the mouse. That's not the one. Please face the cameras.
Okay, so what happened here? Then they went in the permanent mission, meaning the police. But we'll stop here. So if you listen, right, it tells you that there's a divide in many of the institutions in the country. People are usurping powers that don't belong to the domain, but because of their relationship and proximity to the president, they're taking advantage. Clearly, you can hear here that Henry Weah Fahnbulleh is operating within the confines of his responsibility as Deputy Minister of Administration. Irrespective of Maxwell Kemayah and what is happening with him based on his sexual harassment, it is the responsibility of what's his name? Fahnbulleh.
Fahnbulleh,
Make sure that he operates within the confines of the policies and procedures of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So, and the grief staff is being deprived from working only because there's an allegation that was levied. And the minister who is in authority calls police to throw this woman outside. And he's saying that this is a matter of legal issue. The woman grounds was, you have not fired me and you can't fire me because I have an allegation. So this is where the situation is in limbo. But let me hear from Alphonso because he was trying to weigh in from his
Yeah.
legal mind.
So I think the police perform very professionally. The role of the police is to protect lives and property and to prevent conflict and violence. The police is not a court. You don't take your complaints to police to investigate and say this person right, this person wrong, and pass judgment. The police was called on the scene to prevent a potentially explosive situation. Miss Cummings herself said the last time she went there, they jumped her to fight. Miss Cummings also said that if she goes there and they attack her, she will fight them back. The role of the police is to prevent that.
And by
It's
the way,
not.
by the way, by the
Yeah.
way, by the way,
Mm,
she was at the end of the video, she was arrested. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the police perform very professionally. The police even agreed to listen to somebody in Liberia, even though they have real no way of knowing, confirming who that person is. I can sit here and call somebody and say there's the Minister of Defense of Liberia, and he shows something about. I mean, we are being exposed. We've seen stuff all the times. The problem is not what happened that day with the police involvement. The problem is Mr. Weah and the government doing nothing for years since this allegation was filed, and Kemayah being promoted to foreign minister, even with this allegation hanging over him and nothing being done. That is
and
what the
this and
problem.
this allegation is
Yeah. Yes.
impeding. I
The
want to emphasize.
second, yeah. The third problem is Mr. I wonder what and Fahnbulleh is a close friend of mine. We used to classmates, sleep together, whatever. So he's a close friend of mine, you know. But if I talk to him, I ask him, what did he hope to accomplish? Was he hoping that the police would let the woman into the office and leave in the hostile environment? Was he hoping that the police will go into the case of sexual harassment against Kemayah and make a judgment right there? Like, what was he hoping to accomplish? By even talking to the police and asking the police to let the woman into a hostile environment where potentially a fight would have broken out. The government of Liberia should has, as the policeman said, why don't you guys resolve it? The deputy minister could have gone to the minister. The deputy minister could have gone to the president so they can resolve it instead of calling the NYPD police officer to stand there and find out whether the woman was exposed to sexual harassment or not exposed to sexual harassment, or the deputy minister is right, the minister is not right. Are you saying it's the role of the police to do all of that? No, the police, that's not their job. The only thing police are supposed to do when people are about to fight, police stop them from fighting. When it's a volatile situation, they stop them. They tell you go to court. That's what they will tell you. So the police, in my view, performed very professionally. The problem came from Liberia, from the authorities in Liberia, not those two NYPD police officers. Why did the woman even go there to say she went there last time they fought her? She going there again to fight? What are you looking for?
I think
If you
let
have
me
if you have the deputy minister phone to call him, if you have the president number to text him to call him, why don't you go through those channels? Why are you going to an office to provoke a fight or
I
where you
think the,
know people will attack you? Yeah.
I think the issue here is most Alfonso, sorry, is the
Mhm.
delay over time. This incident took place 2020. We're in 3 years now, almost the end of 3 years. And that is why probably she decided to reawaken and throw light on it because now it's become viral. It may draw some attention. What happens? Poor Fahnbulleh lost his job. Let's see what the president would do. Because what I was saying is that Maxwell Kemayah being foreign minister has impeded our foreign diplomacy.
Mhm.
He's not able to hit the main stage. Okay? He's not able to hit the main stage, Moses. He cannot go out here. He got a problem with the president. He can't come on his own. He's not welcome. People will say, "Oh, why are you talking like that?" But the man not welcome. If he come on, we are delegation. He not coming anywhere.
But look, let me just. I hope Alfonso can come back.
Yeah, he got a small tech. He will come back.
Yeah. I disagree with Alfonso regarding how the police handle this matter. First, before even placing the phone call to the deputy minister, the former deputy minister, the police seem to have little or no interest in listening to this woman. They did not want to listen to her. And then when she placed the phone call and said, "I am speaking to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs," and she tried to connect, you heard the policeman say, "You are wearing a polo shirt." That was condescending. It's none of his business whether the man was even wearing pajamas or not. He asked for identity, and the guy sent his identity. He was very disrespectful to the army, to Deputy Minister Fahnbulleh. He said, "Oh, then his next statement was,
first of all,
yeah,
Moses,
yeah.
stop. Why Deputy Minister Fahnbulleh wearing polo shirt on work day when the Minister of Foreign Affairs will wear coat and tie?"
No, but Volcano, you and I will work in this country. Yeah. You and I will work in this country. Yeah. We got guys who are
they're joking about
CEOs. Yeah.
No,
you know.
they're joking.
Yeah, going
Policemen were right. Policemen don't know who you
yeah,
are.
well,
Nigeria,
yeah, but
people call from Nigeria and Sierra Leone every day to
my man,
try to
Alfonso,
rob
you
people.
spoke. Give me a chance. Let me complete my thoughts.
Yes, they get it
Yeah,
back.
you know. So he disrespected our former, our deputy foreign minister. There was no need to even make reference to how the guy looked. Oh, he's wearing a polo shirt. The man sent you his identity.
No, it was prior
Okay?
to. No, let me correct.
No,
It
the guy
prior
was
to.
wearing a polo shirt,
Yeah.
and then he
how do I
said,
know?
"How do I know?" And
Yeah.
then the guy sent his photo. Okay, and then they said to this lady initially, even when they came, there was another lady that called. It was not the foreign minister in Monrovia, Maxwell, Kemayah, that called the police.
No, he gave the authorization.
He gave authorization because this lady was declared what? Persona non grata, that she should leave the mission. So he reportedly gave a directive that she should not be allowed in the permanent mission. Now let's look at this. Anyone who has worked in administration in this country will know that when there's a legal matter involving an employee and the employer, you do not terminate until that matter is resolved. Because any action you take will be considered what? Reprisal.
Yeah, to a greater degree.
Alfonso, you work with lawyers. You have legal mind. In fact, you do representation.
Yeah. And
This
that,
lady,
and,
as a
and
result,
that statement is not very. It's not always true. But go ahead. Let me get you.
Okay. But what I know of, maybe what I know of in most institutions, including where I work, when we have problems like that, we don't terminate. We get to the bottom of it. Because when you do that, you go in an eye for an eye. You resolve the matter amicably. If the person is in the wrong, then the HR department will make a decision to part way with the person. But someone can say, "Oh, my boss is having this," and this woman made an allegation of what? Sexual harassment. Since 2019, according to her. Then Kemayah was a representative. We in 2023, Volcano. Nobody pays attention. Then the very minister comes now, the very accused, gets the director saying that that woman is declared personal non grata. I heard, if you listen to the entire video, you hear the woman say they even took her name off the payroll. You can't do that. The woman is being punished. The intervention. Now let's look at the intervention of the former deputy minister. He intervened to validate the claim that this woman was making. That hey, she worked for us. It is true that she has a case involving the current Minister of Foreign Affairs. He did not lie. He spoke the truth. The woman worked for the Liberian government. That's a legal issue. He wasn't telling the police, oh, well, let her stay there. He only came in to say that, hey, she has a legitimate claim. An allegation was made and the allegation is being probed.
Mhm.
So, and for people in
that means
Monrovia, yeah,
so that means
yeah,
that Moses and Alfonso, the president was very hasty to fire.
the president was hasty, and even people who went and told the
I
president
think,
that, oh,
I think,
Alfonso Konneh, because I heard you say that, in fact, based on what he wrote, people went and told the president that, oh, the man embarrassed the country. He did not embarrass the country. They should
I
be
think he
asking.
did. I think his
He
action
did
did.
not.
I think
Let's
if I
listen to
were
Alfonso.
him,
Alfonso,
if I were him, Volcano and Moses, here's what I would
Alfonso,
have done.
you will come and make all your points, but the point I'm making here is, if I have a problem with my employer and the police get involved, and one of my bosses come to say, oh yeah, it is true that we have a problem. There's a problem involving administration and this man, and this matter is being probed. Do you consider that embarrassment? Does she not have a claim?
So,
Let's
so
flip
here's
this
what.
around. If this was in your shoes, Alfonso, would you call
So
that an
Moses,
embarrassment?
so Moses,
Let's
I
hear
think
from
we need
Alfonso.
to separate. We need to separate all of these things, and I think
Go
Mana Sumo
ahead,
did
go
a
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, and I think
So
Mana Sumo just did a very good job of separating all of those issues. The point about the different parts of it. Clearly, if there was sexual harassment, that should
there's
be
a
investigated and
yeah,
prosecuted.
yes, the
Yes,
separation here.
yeah, exactly the separation there. So I'm not saying that this woman wasn't fired illegally. I'm not saying this woman was not sexually harassed. I'm not saying any of that. I think the government failed. They dropped the ball by not investigating this case for all of these years and putting it to bed and still keeping Kemayah over there. I agree with that. I'm not disputing that at all. What I'm saying is two things. Point number one, the police perform professionally. Their job is not to investigate sexual harassment allegations and determine who's wrong, who's right. Their job is not to force people into offices and say, this person works here, so they will have to sit down here.
I
Especially
agree.
if this person herself said the last time she entered the office, she was attacked.
They were
I
throwing
agree
boutique.
with
Yeah,
that,
then she
but
wants to go. Then she
the
want to go
police
back in the office so they
disrespected
will fight
the
again.
former deputy
So
minister.
now let's go to the issue of the former deputy minister. If I were him, if I had talked to him, he's a friend of mine. We met the last time he was here. I would have said, my man, advise the woman, let her go home. Let her go home. Your deal with that thing. Don't put the country situation at the permanent mission, police coming in and you on the phone talking to police and insisting the woman should go and she's right and the woman has allegations. What are you hoping to accomplish? You need to understand the role of the police. The role of the police not going to stand there and investigate Kemayah and say he's wrong to stop the woman from going. So let the woman enter the office. What if the police leave and a fight breaks out there and somebody gets killed or whatever? What happens? Police is responsible for that. The role
Alfonso,
of the I'm coming. You just said I shouldn't interfere when you were talking. So that Kevin J.
Amen.
The two things I'm saying here. The police play their role. If I were the police officer, I would not even be going in there and deciding whether somebody got beat or not. I mean, the policeman even said, ma'am, can you work from home? Ask the deputy, former deputy, can she work from home? That's something they should have been doing. Not put the country image on social media talking about whatever and all of that thing. He is the diplomat. He is the deputy minister. He should get up and go to the president and say this thing. As a matter of fact, what I know is that that case was reported to the U.S. judicial system. It's in the U.S. judicial system that that very woman reported it. So it's in the court system. It's not. It's so again. It's too slow, and I agree. And nobody should abuse women, and agree. And as I said earlier, the problem is with Mr. Weah and Kemayah and the government of Liberia not following up on this case. This woman could have even been illegally terminated, as Manan said, my brother Dr. Sumo said, and all of that. I totally agree with that. But that very incident at that place was wrong. If I were Fahnbulleh, if he had called me and said, "My man, here's the situation, what we'll do," I tell him, "My man, tell that girl, I'll go. Go talk to the president, go do this, you'll resolve this thing." That's what I would have done. But having a broadcast that goes all over the world that there's a fight and a conflict at the Liberian permanent mission of the United Nations, where the deputy minister that also demonstrates, as a matter of fact, that the deputy minister and the minister proper are in conflict and with the staff and all of that. Of course, it's embarrassing. Now,
No.
should that have led to his termination? Maybe not. I think the burden falls on Mr. Weah, who has let this thing linger all this time. This is not the first time Fahnbulleh and Kemayah are going. I've seen letters back and forth from Fahnbulleh to Kemayah, all of that, insulting each other and denigrating each other, all in the media. It's not the first time. Again, that goes to the fact that this government is inept, is incapable of doing anything right, and that's why we are at this point today. But in terms of what the police did, I hail the police for preventing any fight, any conflict, and any destruction of life and property over there because that's their job.
Well, I would say that I don't see any disrespect here on the part of the former deputy minister, because other employees of the permanent mission have already portrayed this woman as someone who doesn't work for the permanent mission. So I think the deputy minister was only, confirming to the police officer, yes, she works for us, and there's a legal issue that's going on
I think he
involving,
heard. The
yeah,
lady said, sorry, the lady said she was taken off payroll. If you're taken off payroll, you don't work there. So maybe that's
no,
another case she needs to
it,
take to court.
so
Yeah,
so
she was
so
terminated
so
illegally. You take
mhm.
it to court. The
But
police can resolve that.
yeah, so you heard the former deputy foreign minister say that the lady works for the Liberian government. She works at the permanent mission. So he reconfirmed what the lady said earlier, that she works for the permanent mission as part of the
Unpaid,
reprisal by the
unpaid
accused, where
employee.
Alphonso, as part of the reprisal by the accused, Minister Kemayah,
Mhm.
through his influence, this lady was taking off the payroll.
Yes.
He also gave directive to other employees of the foreign mission to declare this woman persona non grata,
Hmm.
not to enter the building. So the call from Minister Fahnbulleh was just to say that, hey, we know this lady, she worked for us and she has a legitimate claim, and the claim is being investigated. Now, this is what I want to say. And what I'm about to say is that the action taken by the president on Wednesday, that action will hurt the CDC come Tuesday. There are a lot of Liberian women. There are a lot of Liberians that will stand with this woman, and those people will vote against the ruling party. How do you allow someone abroad working for you since 2019, Alphonso? This person filed a legal claim.
I'm trying to understand here. Let me
Yes.
quickly say, are these positions appointees by the president? Because she
What?
said she has the president's personal number. She was going to text him. She was going to call him.
I think working at the foreign mission, you are appointed by the ministry. The
I'm
ministry
just
appoint
because
people, yeah,
she
at that
has so
level.
much proximity to the president.
It could be. I
And,
mean,
and what happened here, man?
look, Volcano,
Exactly.
it could be like the three of us here. If you have a close relationship with the president can ask the minister of information, say, hey, I want Leggy who, hey, Leggy who, Moses Seni is my friend. I would like for you to appoint him to the Liberian embassy as minister counselor. The president is not going to appoint me, but that appointment will come from the minister. So that kind of relationship can be there. She may be someone who has close relationship with the president and other people, you know.
Okay.
But like I was saying, the action by the president, I think is wrong. He gonna lose a lot of votes as a result of what happened. To even dismiss Fahnbulleh at this time, I think it's a poor decision on his part, and I would like to close it.
I think Fahnbulleh and the president and everybody didn't do good to the lady. Because Fahnbulleh is deputy minister. And I'm saying it on the surface because I don't know the details. And in his letter, he didn't give us the detail. I wish that from 2019 or 2020 to now that they would have pushed to make sure that this case gets resolved and that the woman got justice. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. The woman, I don't blame her. She was frustrated and she just decided to go there and vent and hopefully draw attention to the situation because her plight has not been answered. And that's unfortunate. But that's what you get, unfortunately, when we have these types of governments in place, the failed administration. So the government failed her, the system failed her. This woman said she was taken off payroll. I wonder the deputy minister, the other deputies, the payroll people were fighting for this woman to get back on payroll. I mean, she's off payroll. Asking the people to let her into the office was going to do very little for her. It was only just going to generate a lot of confusion. That wasn't going to put her back on the payroll. That wasn't going to make her an employee. So again, it was just superficial thing that they were doing over there. And I understand her frustration. Again, I followed this case to some extent. And I also know she reported to police, the one court, and all of that U.S. authorities regarding the sexual harassment stuff. Again, it's very unfortunate that we have an incapable, inept government that let the people down. And Moses, you said women will vote in protest. I hope they do. I hope they do. Because this lady was let down by the government she works
By the
for, the
government, yeah.
government of her country. I totally agree with that. I think there might be wrongful termination, as Dr. Sumo said. So
Yeah,
she
run
should
for
go and
termination.
file.
Yeah.
To go and file against the government on that. I think they didn't do well by her, the sexual harassment stuff. I think she should elevate it and go and complain. Yeah, there were photos when Weah came here and Kemayah was standing in the back behind the airport. That was part of at the airport, that was part of the fear. But I think that day, the incident on that day, if the police had let her in, the police were not going to stay there 24 hours or the 8 hours of work. They force her in and they leave, and a fight breaks out and somebody gets hurt or killed. That would have been wrong. So I think the police did the right thing. That's why my question was I don't know what Deputy Minister Fahnbulleh wanted to accomplish by trying to talk to the police. Did he want the police to let her in the office so she can go work? The police were not going to stay there. Why the police leave and attack her again? She herself said she was attacked before. So I think everybody except the lady herself were angry, so I wouldn't blame her. She's victim here. But the officials failed her. The officials of government failed her. Mr. Weah, they didn't take any action for years until this thing happened. They
And
start
this,
hiring
yeah,
people.
and dismiss the
That's
deputy
that.
minister.
That's
Yeah.
just recklessness. They failed the woman. At the same time, I think the police played their role. And this woman needs support. People need to rally around her to take this case to court here in the America. So even, well, we got a few more days to election, but if George Weah were to win, God forbid, or whatever, that Kemayah can be arrested if he comes here or he doesn't come here at all. We need to put pressure to support this woman. But when it comes to the police, my NYPD did a good job in my view.
But
Thank you.
look,
Moses.
yeah,
We can do this. We can do this.
yeah. No, quickly, I just want to say
Moses,
this. Wait, I'm not.
you gotta watch the time, my brother. We can't
I
do it.
know. I just if I, Volcano, let me just say something.
I haven't said anything. I've been giving you the opportunity. We can't.
No, you're
Okay.
right. You're right,
Yeah.
Volcano. Yeah.
No. The point I'm trying to drive here is that at a critical time like this, the president made a huge mistake. He made a huge mistake because the situation of this woman is going to impact this administration negatively come Tuesday. Go ahead.
That's what you wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess everybody has put a point of view, and I think Alfonso said some very, poignant things here that I just want to say that yes, the woman acted out of frustration, that her case was not being heard. She's in a foreign country. I don't even know what her legal status is here. She may only have work permit to be in this country. If she was sent from Liberia to represent
No,
Liberia in the mission,
I listened to the lady. She's a local star, even though she's a Liberian, but I would want to assume because she did talk to the police about that all it takes is to have appointment and work authorization from whatever country that you represent, even though she lives in the United States, to be able to work for the Liberian embassy, the Liberian government must be able to apply for work authorization for her,
so
and
you
which of
interrupted
course she has.
but
Yes.
you interrupted what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Say
Sorry
that
about
she
that.
may not have green card to find other jobs.
No, she can. She's a local star. She's a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so
It's like you and I,
Yeah,
wanting to work for the embassy as local
not
staff.
you and I, just you.
Okay, yeah. If I decide to work for the Liberian embassy, I will be considered. If I decide to work for the Liberian
I
embassy, I
understand
will
that.
be
Let me
considered a
make
local
a point.
staff.
Let me
Yeah.
make my point.
Let him make his point, Moses.
Yeah,
Let
I was
him
thinking
finish his point.
that not knowing her status,
Yeah.
it's possible that she could have been sent here by the Liberian government to work, and she may not have had working authorization to work outside of the permanent mission. That's the point I want to make. And so if you were fired from the permanent mission and I recalled by the Liberian government to come back home, then you're lingering around here, you have a sexual harassment case, they move this man from here and elevated him to minister proper, then it's a slap in the face. So I'm trying to say that there where the frustration is, Alfonso, right? And
Yes.
and she was right, but there were some areas where I thought she was a little arrogant with the police and how she presented the situation. I'm being very honest. Um, she pushed them, especially the woman outside, the female police officer. She pushed her to a point like backing up against the wall, and it got to the point where they had to act because she said that for me to leave here, you have to arrest me. And the guy said, what do you accomplish for being arrested? We're not going to arrest you. They did everything. They did everything to understand her, like Alfonso said. So she made some mistakes on her own. So if she's still in jail, she asked for it, and so she's there. But with poor Henry did not practice the tenets of diplomacy. Shouldn't have come on the phone. Maybe his coming on the phone was to say, yes, gentlemen, I know her. She works for the permanent mission. Because if she's a former employee, he should know by now as a deputy minister of administration. Because if she was terminated like she claimed, then that termination should have been on his desk. So
I
he
think
was said to her, Ma, you know you're working over there again. Go, we're still looking into the matter. Leave from there. We'll handle the matter behind it, the scene. So all in all, what happened here was to bring attention, to give it some kind of viral image so that it becomes something that the government must address. The government took the first step wrong by firing the deputy minister. I think it was premature on the part of the president to quickly hew to hearsay, because there are people in his government who've done some very, very embarrassing things to that government, and they're still passing around.
it was about my getting him,
I'm not
man.
saying he's passing around and he's done nothing about it. And even the very embarrassing thing that Kemayah is being held for or being alleged for, he has done nothing about it. So I think let's lay the card to rest and move on to the next thing, because we're moving all the time here. It's about what? 9 o'clock in the city. This is the Issues Room, the 197th broadcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We have about another 30 minutes to go. And so we just want to run through these two last bullets into our What Type of Country and Member League. So Amara Konneh, former Minister of Finance, said that the harmonization policy introduced by the Weah government bloated the payroll in many of the sectors in the country, the public institutions, for those places with his seditions. And how will we pay them for giving us power? What we're going to do, we're going to harmonize pay, we're going to reduce salaries. And interestingly, from all of the things that we know and I know, is that this harmonization is not like a one-time deal. They say sometimes the money, your money low like this, then the next month your money low like this. And it just started looking like this. So people started complaining.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, the former Minister of Finance, is he credible enough to say that, considering what his government did in terms of corruption?
I would say former minister.
Yeah, let's
Konneh.
balance the scorecard here now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being honest with you. I would say former minister Konneh is more credible as compared to the current minister of finance, Samuel Tweah. The kind of reports, the kind of contradiction that we see in today's Liberia when it comes to fiscal policy, fiscal management, we didn't see that during the Salif administration. For example, Minister Tweah boasts of having the biggest budget, over $700 million. Ironically, the government is unable to pay public servants or civil servants. It's unable to provide for education. It's unable to provide for healthcare. So how does he reconcile that? Is that Moses said he come and tell my wife that I make $200,000 a year, but yet the kids are asking neighbors for food. So my wife would say, but Moses, you said all this thing, no food in the house. Yeah.
So the harmonization policy created a breakdown in the circular flow, thereby harming every sector of our economy and society. It weakens the purchasing power of about 75,000 civil servants with an average household of 4 people. It suppresses the private consumption. It increases the default rates in the financial system, and it stifles domestic investments. With the harmonization policy, civil servants' purchasing power diminished. The default rate on loans shot up as non-performing loans ratios rose to 17.2% in 2019, up from 14.7% in 2017. So he making that, comparison to their time and to what we have bloated the payroll with. And credit to private sector, loans for domestic investment dropped from 6.3%, well below 2019. So the harmonization policy was necessitated by Mr. Weah administration in its effort to accommodate partisans after bloating the payroll in 2018. The CDC administration increased the public sector wage bill from $297 million in 2017 to to $322 million within 12 months.
Yes.
Therefore, the harmonization of salary was introduced to slice from Peter and give to Paul,
Poor,
not
yeah.
necessarily to increase equal pay
No.
or ensure equal pay. That is noted in the recent GSE payroll audit report. The GSE reported that 32,759 employees, about 48.7% of civil servants across 90 entities, were earning below the harmonized pay grade. This is bad macroeconomic management that demands change.
Absolutely.
Mr.
Council.
Konneh is absolutely correct with my little economic background. You mentioned some very key points, both of you and Volcano. You two key points. You talk about purchasing power. Um, the U.S. economy and every economy in the world is driven by consumer spending. When people buy gasoline, then people produce more gasoline. So consumer spending also drives productivity. When people eating more McDonald's, then McDonald's open more stores and hires more people.
And
So
then taxes are paid. Important. Taxes.
exactly, exactly. Then they go to the farmers and buy the burger from there. Then they go to the bakery and buy the bread, transportation, gasoline to take the trucks. The truck drivers are driving it. So consumer spending is what drives the economy. When you limit the people's ability to buy goods and services, you mess up the economy. You take it down. Because if people can't buy rice, if people can't afford to buy rice, if they can't afford to buy gasoline, if they can't afford to buy cassava or something, then the farmers will not produce. Then the trucks will not have to go to Ganta to bring the cassava to the market because there's no cassava to be brought to the market. That means the gas station will not sell gasoline to the truck driver. So what Mr. Tweah and Mr. Weah were doing, this is exactly what Amara Konneh said. They didn't harmonize to say the salaries are too high, let's cut people's salaries and put it into this. No. They just said, Moses, you're earning $200. We're going to take $150 from you and give 50 to Paul and give 100 to Peter. You've done nothing. All you do is like you have one cake, right? This is the
Mhm.
pie. You have one pie. And then you say, oh, instead of, Volcano, Alphonso, and Moses getting bigger pie, I will cut the pie small, 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 small. Everybody pull it on their tongue, it melt on their tongue, even get in their stomach. Everybody's still hungry.
Mhm.
That's exactly what their so-called harmonization policy did. Instead of working to expand, to make the pie, the economic pie bigger, they decided to cut in small pieces. How do you make the economic pie bigger? You attract foreign investments, you open businesses, you create opportunities. And Mr. Konneh is right. What is this palm company that was in Bombay? That it was brought into 16 point something billion foreign investment. Liberian people don't understand. Say, Ellen, that it was 16 billion came to aid it. No, it was investment that people brought into the country. So you have Meta Steel, you have Golden Beryllium, you have all these people coming into the country. So the pie expands when you do that. The economic pie expands when you do that. People earn money, they spend it, business people buy more goods and services. People who produce. When you contract, when you cut people wages and stuff, you are contracting the economy because people don't have the power to spend. And therefore people lay people off. So you have joblessness as a matter of fact. The supermarket that can sell their goods and services is not going to keep 10 staff. They will redundant some people. The people damage the economy of the country. Mr. Konneh is right. Of course, some of our people here who don't understand economics and whatever will make all the noise that they want to make. But the reality is that these boys got in place not knowing what to do and they damaged the economy. The performance was poor. They couldn't attract foreign investment. They wanted to bring in their people. and give them no work jobs where they got paid. You go to ministry, the whole ministry full up with people until some product coming, no productivity.
They're walking around playing on
They're
Facebook.
walking around, no productivity. And I think Chairman Yankwezese hit it on the head. They started borrowing money left and right, and not knowing and not recording it, because then it will reflect negatively on the bottom line, the economic bottom line. So the high money that they borrow and all of those things is a crisis, in that economic crisis in that country, and it brings up poverty. There's more poverty in Liberia now. There's no productive capacity in Liberia. People not working. There's no jobs. So they damage the economy. And Amara Konneh is right.
Anything you want to add quick before we move on to the last segment?
Yeah, look, what I want to say is that the harmonization policy that the Weah administration introduced, it created instability, uncertainty for civil servants. Take for example, if you say Moses Sani earns $50 a month, in order to keep a household, you make a monthly budget, right, Alfonso?
Yes.
And you manage your life based on your budget. So
Mhm.
if I know I earn $50 a month and I made my allocation within that $50, and I go to the bank to get my paycheck, and somebody say, "Oh, my man, your paycheck is $40." I said, "Okay, you know what? I will manage for now with $40." Then next month again, I made the same budget. So I said, I know it's going to be another $40. I make the same budget for another $40. And I go, somebody's telling me, say, "Oh man, it's $35." So you see how the guys made things difficult for the ordinary Liberians because people were not sure.
So,
They created more hardship for the people.
so since we're going to the runoff elections, right?
Yeah.
This is where now the Liberian people need to read between the lines. So there are two kinds of voters here. The voters who were put on the payroll, sedition partisans, who
Mhm.
they created jobs for and sliced the pay of those other Liberians to give them. They're
Mhm.
the ones who are going to stay for this government back.
Of course, yeah.
But what happens to those people, the 75,000 people who were harmonized or more?
Mhm.
So this is where now people need to read between the lines. So let's make the case here tonight. And I know the sedition is not going to like me for this. And I'm not campaigning here for any political
Anybody, but you
institution,
just saying the truth.
rather. I'm just saying the truth. The track record that Mr. Weah is running on. We talked about white fee. We talked about road. We talked about hospitals.
Mhm.
Adding the harmonization and the damage it caused. Adding the private jets you're flying every day. Adding the helicopter you purchased. Adding the $50 million you used for campaign. I was in Liberia today, Friday, makes it 1 week since I left Liberia. Every light pole from ELWA Junction, in fact, every light pole from Robert Street Highway,
Wow.
only Weah and Joe Howard Taylor. He didn't give no other candidate the opportunity to put
Can
it
you
on.
imagine that,
Yeah.
man? I see what comments and I even get to this.
Every light pole.
My man,
If
my man, leave comment people, I beg you.
Let tell me say
I
I like
see.
God,
But there are no way for coming to put on a baby.
let talk about every light pole. So is this the track record you're running on? And then these and I hate to probably I may just explode here if I call some people foolish people. Because that's what it sounds like when you say you lead the president doing good, he done good than more any president in Liberia.
Yeah.
Than any president in Liberia. Don't do that. Don't do that. Liberia has been around since 1847. And I don't see what we has done different from 1847. I was just there. If anything, Liberia is more deaded than 1847. Liberia is more deadier than 1990. Liberia is more deadier than 1989. Liberia is more deadier than 1980. Liberia lacks the rule of law. At least
Jefferson Koji watching the podcast. Oh.
Yeah? See what?
I said Jefferson Koji is watching the podcast.
I'm sure he watching because he has job to do to clean that city.
I forgot to say, got to step out, Jefferson.
Okay? Liberia lacks the rule of law
Yeah.
since 1980, since 1847. So what is the track record that the brother is running on? When you impulsively fire people who you cherry picking injustice.
Yeah, that's what you think.
You cherry pick. Do you know what it means to be a leader? An allegation is made about your chief lieutenants and you slide and you turn your eye. And coming from your major ally,
Yeah.
your major partners, the people who influence finances for your country, the people who influence subsidy, the people who influence developmental project, the Great America. They
And you
tell you,
look
see,
the other way.
your minister, your this person, that person, they are messing up. They are causing problems for the country economically. They are stealing, and you say nothing, and then you even finance those people campaign to come in the legislature to give them the leeway to be free. Then you want to come on, man. What is leadership? It's common sense. Leadership is common sense. You want
It
to tell me
is.
that we are keep the same between good and bad? He doesn't know what's right and wrong. He doesn't understand what it means to have partners. Then you stand and talk about our developmental partners. You've already failed your developmental partners and what they're telling you.
It's
Because the
sad.
country has not been able, Alphonso, I know you coming. The country has not been able to even enhance its own economy by its own mineral and
Thank you.
resources.
Thank you very much.
The country has not been able to do that. Because
Thank
why? You allow bogus deal. We're hearing your brother-in-law pillaging our diamonds and our gold in the southeastern region. We hear all kind of fake company, your ministers making company to take contracts from the very government with the project going nowhere. Mr. Weah, come on now. Come on. And you really want another 6 years? But that's what the Liberian people desire. That's what they say they want. And it hurts me that people, and what bothers me, the people in the diaspora who God sent in here to help themselves are the ones who say, oh, you're leader, man. But you are over there and you eating dry rice with no palm oil, no red oil, no chicken soup. Then you understand the reality of the time.
The reality.
My brother, I stand on GSA Road and I see people literally walking like they're hopeless.
They are hopeless. Yes.
Adults.
Yeah. I mean,
Man walking and going home and he's wondering what he carrying home because no plastic bag in your hand. How you gonna tell his family, say, I went all day, nothing. We ain't got food for tomorrow. And this is the reality. But then you have people living in opulence. Chimo enjoying GSA Road for the last time because the American is serene.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to throw this out here.
The man got up to January.
Yeah. So you
It is
talking
Volcano,
about
you are very, 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 very correct. You hit everything on the cylinder, my brother. And that is extremely sad. Those guys took over a government that did not know how to run. They don't even know where to go. So right now it would be about violence, it would be about everything, it would be about stealing money. The key point, I was talking to one of my friends who works in the government. He said, oh, we did, see erosion protection. You ain't get a $20 million, $50 million that we're managing. I said, that's good. But how about your resources? The one you're generating from yourself. What are you doing to help your own people? No country, no government can just rely on aid alone. But that's what they're doing. Look at the budget of the Ministry of Agriculture, and we'll end here because I know we don't have a lot of time. The budget of the Ministry of Agriculture, as I was looking at it, the budget in the Liberian from the Liberian government is $3 million. Why? They believe that international people will put money into running agriculture and all of that. So they just put $3 million. But what do? They put $10 million into giving people money to import rice into the country. every 3 months, 6 months. Rice
That's
importers get
that
10
one Moses
million
say that's
subsidy.
insanity. That's
Yes.
insanity.
To
But let me add this
import
part.
rice.
Let
Yeah.
me add this part. There's a
Yeah.
very important part I want to add.
Yeah.
The government is not utilizing its minerals in the
No.
context for it to generate income to increase potentials in the economy. Do you know what they're doing? They raise tariff, high taxes
Yep.
in that country. And so the Lebanese, the Indians, the whoever doing business, when they pay that money to free things at the free port, it's price for all. There's no restriction. There's no set price. Everybody sells at their own volution. What they want is
Yeah, free market.
so there's no price regulation. So taxes are astronomical
Wow.
to the point that there's no distinction. The poor Liberian guy who ship a container before he free it from the port, he just said your ticket. Then you might
Yeah,
you ship your container with everything because the taxes are so high. You just tell people say your ticket.
Hey, man.
Yep.
That's how bad it is.
Yep.
Nothing for Liberians. So you know what people are doing now? They ship to Guinea and they drive it through Liberia.
Wow.
That's how bad. That's how criminal.
And the country is losing millions of dollars as
Millions.
a result of that.
Yeah, because you got a few people who stealing because this president say, I want 300,000 every month, and no matter how you find it, no matter how you get it, you bring it. But I mean, how did this country get in these guys' hand?
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm not propagating anything here for Baka because I don't even.
I mean, it's the truth of the matter,
I will be
Volcano.
honest with you, my brother. I don't think Baka has the miracle or the magic wand to change anything in 6 years. I really don't think so. I read it. I'm gonna say it, and I stand by what I say. But if this government continues to do what it's doing, then the change has to take place. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who comes in to make that change, if they can make that small change. So I have no belief in Mr. Baka that he has a magic wand. I have no belief in any of the previous 18 candidates that had a magic wand. But if this government continue to run that country the way it's running that country, on handouts, on high taxes, on acute corruption, then the country is going nowhere, gentlemen. And that's a prime example of the next video I'm about to play with Samuel Tweah, who created all of this mess and think that he can just go to the children and tell them, say, I will give you a small food, and the children will accept it. So that's the last segment we're going to go to. And we'll close here tonight. You're beating a car. emotional here with this stuff. But that's what you see here. Go ahead.
No, I
So,
absolutely agree with.
oh, sorry.
Okay, no, I
Right.
was saying German, that I agree.
Let me play this clip here quick. I think this is
Sure. Hmm.
where he made the kids mad.
The fighting President Weah because he is taking the government money and giving it to the people. Where do you think we got the money from to pay for last fee?
This is the nonsense these guys talk about. This once fees doesn't make any sense. This one-time payment of this $60 here, when you're standing down there with maybe 10,000 US dollars in your pocket of brand new money. Yeah.
In the last 6 years, the president has put 20 million United States dollars in the payment of grass fees. Let's clap for it. When you graduate, you the 12 graders. When you graduate, you the 12 graders. Going to public universities and colleges, you do not have to worry about paying for tuition.
It's a waste of time because the public university don't even have resources. Go ahead, man.
But look, Volcano, let's do some logical analysis here. You know, I've always told you guys that Samuel Tweah is a pathological liar. I heard you say that for the past years, since Mr. Weah ascended the presidency, the Liberian government has spent $20 million to pay for what he called wise fees. That's not true. What is the student population that the government will spend $20 million? We're not talking about Liberian dollars here. He's talking about US dollars. I challenged Mr. Tweah to bring that evidence. The number of students, the schools in the country, where the high school students are coming from, that the government spent $20 million in the period of almost 6 years, for them to save for the wise. That's not true. Tweah lies about everything. Another thing that he did that was absolutely wrong. It is unlawful for any official of government to use institutional facilities, schools, to go and preach politics.
Partisan politics at that rate.
Partisan politics. You cannot go on a campus, on a high school campus, to preach politics. You say, oh, the people hate Mr. Weah because he's using the money to invest. For the past year, we spent $20 million. So what will the MCSS do regarding the violation of that particular code that France or any official government from using any of its facilities, any government institution, for the propagation of what? Political campaign messages. The students were angry. The students said the school has no running water. The laboratory had no equipment. And he tells the student the government will give them food for 3 days. Oh, because election is going to be Tuesdays? So you're gonna come and feed the people? Is that all they're good for? Food? Let me pause there, young man.
It's a shame. It's an absolute shame, Alphonso, you're coming. It's a disgrace to have a guy like Samuel Tweah, a criminal. And I'll say a criminal because of what it is. It's not the physical taking of money. When you stand there and lie, it's a portrayal of being a criminal. You sitting there the other day, you were dragging now, you got big gut and you can talk and you can lie. And you know what bothers me, Moses? I was just thinking to myself and I said, these guys act like things are going to remain forever. There are people who done worse things than Samuel Tweah the other day here in Liberia. Where are they?
They're gone.
Where are they?
They're gone.
The very Emmanuel Shaw that's still hustling. And he was finance minister.
Yeah. They used to call him the best dressed man.
Mm-hmm. And he's still hustling.
The man advisor.
That was it. All the other men that stole. Even the Wilson Tapper who's down to EPA. Look at how they demoted him. And he was finance minister. He was governor of the Bank of Agriculture, all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing to say he's...
I mean, you're right. I'm
just saying that
these are good examples.
Yeah, I'm just giving you that people have been there before you. And at the end of the day, when the CDC is gone, what happens to you, Samuel Tweah? You think you're going to lie ordinarily at this point and people will believe you?
Yeah, man lies about
You probably have to be in a position of authority to lie to the people because you can't just go to Hatay Spa and start lying to people.
The man lies.
You know, it's a shame to have these kinds of people representing the highest institutions in our country. And then you celebrate mediocrity. Mediocrity.
Yeah.
I'm talking YSP for real? And this is something to prize. This is something to put on your campaign record. Something that is an entitlement. You're talking about free education, where you just pointed out no resources.
No.
Bathrooms are can't flush water.
Mm-hmm.
People literally peeing behind the university or on the wall. The Capitol building is in dilapidation. People
no running water.
Pouring water in gallons in modern day, which is a form of slavery. That the first branch of government apportioning salaries to themselves cannot even create the what they call it, the amenities in their own place of work.
And please, Volcano, don't forget about the very finance ministry that he works at. No running water.
Yeah.
You see how dirty that place looks.
And then you got to claim elevator.
Yeah.
I think the children just taught the finance minister, who claims to be educated, who claims to be an economist. The children just gave him a lesson,
of course,
101, in planning and program design, and engaging the country's problems through programming and ad hoc approaches to things. The children just told him that. He went with another ad hoc approach. We'll get your food for 3 days. Mm-hmm. The children said, that's not what we need. We need equipment in our science lab so we can learn. We need running water. So when we go in the bathroom to pee, or we don't have to go outside to pee and get sick and spread disease. That's what governments should do. You plan, you identify problems, you do feasibility studies, you identify problems, and then you put resources towards resolving those problems. This government has failed every step of the way. They gotta want some money, they say university free, without any proper planning. All of our universities are broken down. You go AU campus is zero. You go to Tottenham University, the children striking every day. They're talking about YS fees. 20 million for 6 years. Take 20 million, but I agree with you, Moses. I totally agree that they didn't even spend 20 million. But let's assume they spent 20 million. Let's assume they spent 20 million. Let's take 20 million and divide it by 6 years. How many years How much money they spend each year? Take 20
So
million divided by 6. That's three what? Three hundred three
that
three three three. That's
that's
three hundred
three.
thousand
That's
dollars. That's that $333,000 a year.
n-
Because if you take 20 million divided by 6, so it's not
so
even a
no,
lot of money.
no, that's three, a little over $3 million a year.
Yeah, yeah, 3 million, $3 million
Hmm.
a year,
Hmm.
$3 million, three million
Yeah,
33,000,
yeah,
3
just
million.
say a little over three
Yeah,
million dollars a year,
$3 million
right?
a year.
So,
three
and it
million
is for
dollar a year to pay wire fees.
wise
three
fee.
million dollar a year
It's
to pay
not true.
wire fees. Is that, let's assume they even pay it. How significant is $3 million that you're supposed to be passing around boasting over for a whole
Mhm.
year?
And
We
you said
spend
that
three,
you have a budget of 800 million.
Eight
yeah,
hundred million, yeah.
yeah, per
So if you
year. But
just spend it only on wise fee, $3 million,
wires fee 3 million.
yeah.
And that big thing that we're supposed to be celebrating you for. Are you kidding me? But these kids, that's what they do. They don't know. And so what they try to do is to deceive the children who don't know. Volcano, real quickly, you ask a question. How did we get these guys? How can these guys become our leaders? Very important. Herman Cohen said it in 1990. He said, if you, former U.S. Under Secretary of State for African Affairs, he said, if you allow this war to pass by Nimba and Boy and enter Monrovia, Liberia will go 100 years backwards, at least. People, let me move from everybody. People thought what he meant was somehow streets and quota would have been uprooted, buildings would have been uprooted. No, it's the human mind. It's the human mind. And unfortunately, the human mind for generations has been damaged in Liberia. We are struggling with a group of children in the middle. Imagine a child who was 6 year old in first grade or 7 year old in second grade or third grade. The war came. 15 years passed. As 6 to 15. That man not going by in second grade or third grade. He not going by in fourth grade. As far as he's concerned, by that time he already has woman and children now. He's not going back. These are the people that are the voters that will determine who our leaders should be. That's exactly how we got to where we are today. That man, he worried. He got to go home and carry food. He doesn't have a job. So Samuel Tweah and Fahnbulleh then can say, come here, we'll give you 2 bags of rice. That's his saving grace. We'll
Hmm.
give 2 cups of rice. That is a saving grace. That's why they are tethered to these people. And that's why the people keep them in that situation. Because what's the Liberian parable? The person who feeds you controls you.
Controls
And
you, yeah.
that's exactly what they are doing to those people. That
Mhm.
is the destruction we have in this country. And that's why we need this intervention to take these people off our back. If we get it possessed more here, we finish. But in terms of where we came from, that's where we are today. That's where we are.
Gentlemen, it's
Yeah.
9:38, Moses. Let me just make this quick point, and then you
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
make that 30-second point so we can move out of here.
Okay.
It's 9:38. We've been here since 7. We
Yeah, I
can't,
know.
we can't sleep here. But the point when Samuel Tweah said here that, oh, when you leave from high school, you got free passage to university. But so what you telling me here now? You have prison systems in the country, prison institutions in the country that were built for 300 people. You got 3,000 people in there. So are you telling me that you're going to stack the university like sardines because everyone must have privilege to go to LU?
Mhm.
Because when you look on Facebook, almost all the people on Facebook they are university. I'm like, bro,
Oh yeah.
whether they lying or telling the truth. So you opening the floodgate, but you don't have the capacity to
You
sustain or
don't.
contain
You don't.
or embrace the number of students. So pay the Y fee is one thing. Say you're giving free education, but you're not expanding the university.
Mm-hmm.
University, since it was built
Mm-hmm.
from 1847 whatever to the point it was on UL campus on Capitol Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Tower started, then Doe finished it at the Defender.
And mm-hmm.
Then Ellen came and put the Chinese thing in there. What university have we are built? Can tell me now? Then he talking plenty. He building market building, but you say you giving education You say you're giving free
Free-
education.
Yeah.
You say you're paying wire fee, but then you're building market building instead of adding annexes and expanding the university and building satellite university to continue or be able to accept all of these students that you so-called minister bragging about. When you graduate, you can go to university free. So everybody will go to LU. That LU campus can contain the whole population of the young people that come out of high school. No. So stop this kind of nonsense when you're talking Samuel Tweah. Don't talk like that. Talk because you know people like us are watching. We can discern what you're saying. We can point out your flaws. We can point out your flaws. You don't have the capacity to enroll every student that's graduating from your so-called high schools and your wide fee you pay. You can. You're not building universities. Of everything I'm hearing here, you're not building university. You're building market building. You build a market building to Douala, the people still don't want to go inside the car on the car road. You build a market building to Ominga, the people don't want to go inside and come back to the red line. What type of country is this? What type of country is this? But I'm sure if you build university and add annexes to the current university, the students who are graduating will still have the insatiable desire to at least go there to just get a degree. My brother, what do you say? Am I not making sense?
Of course, yeah.
You may all the same they were, my brother. Though Ellen, I believe I heard that Ellen Salif expanded the university to Bumi. I think there's a campus around Clay or something.
There's a community college up there.
No. Let's not get it wrong, gentlemen.
No, I heard university. I could be wrong.
I'm talking about what Weah is doing for education.
Yeah. No. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree. But why?
I know him to be building university. He bragging about building hospitals.
But Volcano, why you expect the man to build? The thing that brought the man to power is book is not important. The man is building playgrounds, PHP playground, Synco FE playground. Those are the things that he's interested in. It's not interested in anybody going to school. He said book people fail. Book not good. What is that? So why would he invest in education?
Let's make your point. Let's move on to our
But look, what I will say is that what good is a college education when you have no employment opportunity? You spend over 5-6 years, you go to LU, you go to any community college, you acquire skill, you come the next day, all you do is you play Lulu. What good is that college education? The government boasts about free education.
Colasco, I will kill it.
Yeah. The man boasting, right? You know, we spend this amount of money. We spend every one of you will have a free passes to government universities. But when you go on the campus of the University of Liberia, you know, classes that were some students used to commute to Fender. A good number of them now find it difficult to go because why? No transportation. Learning condition, horrible. You go to rural Liberia, community colleges are all shutting down. And you have the finance minister come to tell us, say, oh, you know, the people hate Mr. Weah.
But Moses, just to add to that point, the shutting down.
Yeah.
There's always a disparity. If you create free education and the education budget is less than to sustain the university to pay to do the things, then of course it's a fiasco.
Yeah, you're going to see an increase in student population. You can't accommodate that.
Let me cuss tonight. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Let me cuss for once in my life. Because you say you're creating free education.
Yeah.
You don't have resources. You're not paying your teachers. You're not paying.
You don't have chairs.
You don't have anything there. Then the money you put in the budget for education, When Uncle Sonny take more of it, you take your own private thing there. There's nothing left there. And that's what you get. Absolute bullshit.
And forget, let me give you a typical example. The other day, I heard one of the lawmakers say that on an annual basis, the government allocated $50,000 to one of the community college. How do you run the community college?
$150,000.
No, not 150, $50,000
or 50,000. You run the whole community college.
You can't even
How many professors are you going
you
to
can't
hire?
even pay the teachers. You can't even pay the teachers with that.
Let's just turn it into whatever country is this. I break it.
Yeah, but man, all the guys are jokers, man.
Gentlemen, what type of country is this? This so-called government keep bragging about free education, but they've done nothing for free education. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this?
They look at whole community college and give me a budget of $50,000.
They take 50,000. You're on your own.
Forget it, Jeremy. How do you operate a whole community college with 50 G?
and interestingly, Moses, the 50 G in Liberia cannot even do much compared to the 50 G here.
No,
because the cost of living in Liberia is higher than here. I'm telling you the truth.
Look
Anybody
at
can
that.
argue it. I just came. Look, to cook a decent soup in Liberia now, but at least from $15.
Yeah, man.
$15 a day.
That's a
$15
lot.
a day to cook a decent soup.
So Volcano, if you even do the math, right?
$10 will cook you average. Like the tinapa gravy. I'm not kidding you.
No, in Labrador, $2 there. Oh.
$10 a day.
That can call your real tinapa soup, right, Alphonso?
Yeah.
Those years, my man,
right now,
$2 was enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right now, I'm being honest with you.
Wow.
To eat decent food at 20 Liberty, to eat good.
Say 20 US.
Yeah, I mean US, sorry, $20 US.
Wow.
Everything is when you're talking. I want to go buy pepper, right? Let me call it Liberian way, pepper.
You went to
man.
You went to the market, my man.
The onions that I bought. I just decided to test it all that morning.
Yeah.
Saturday morning. I went to the Pinsville market near LBS. I left from there. I said, "But why is just bored here? Why is just bored here?" I had the opportunity to talk to some of the marketers, and the woman said, "My son, those of y'all who on that side, you're better off.
Yeah.
Your money can do something for y'all, but here, the money ain't worth it.
That's how bad
it's bad. And you will change $100 before you walk through the days. Gone. And you can see where it's gone. I'm telling you the truth.
No, that's true. It's true. It's costly.
Liberia is expensive.
So
Extremely expensive.
So now, Volcano, like what you just explained to us, right? For a family that can afford, say, hypothetically spending $20 just a day for meal, in a week, that family is spending $140 in a week. In 2 weeks, that's $280. In a month, that's $560. And the dad works at the University of Liberia. He hypothetically earns $700 a month. How is he going to live?
That full money. I was sitting with a deputy minister in the government. I won't say the ministry. I won't say anything.
Yeah.
I was sitting with a deputy minister. We were having a conversation. And his kids are from here. So he took his kids home because he's serving the government.
Okay.
He puts them in, and
Yeah.
cooperative kind of school.
Yeah.
And he said kids stay home all day. They like to be home. They want to
Okay.
be on the internet. They want to be watching the American things from here.
Yeah.
I said just in electricity, he spends $280
See that?
a month just in electricity. Because
Yeah.
the new electricity thing is now you got to charge the meter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So imagine the children from here, they want air conditioner.
They don't want to do that thing. Yeah.
$280. Sometimes 300 plus.
Of course.
The deputy minister told me, he said, my brother, it's not easy. All that thing we're doing is high in the country. So a deputy minister who's serving the government, everybody on hustle.
And the man is crying. Then what's about the ordinary
salary
man?
those guys making,
Mm-hmm.
who's not coming on time. Everything now got to be on the order, on the table. The crossing the D's, the corruption. They gotta have access to be able to sustain in this kind of lifestyle.
It's sad.
What country is this that you got to steal to support your lifestyle? What type of country is this?
What type of country is this where election is Tuesday and the Liberal best president? He put people out there and said, look, go everywhere. Do anything you can. Even if you will, destroy property, go ahead and do it. I gotta be re-elected. What kind of country is this?
Emmanuel Jackson, what type of country is this? Medical doctors are organized to go around the country and perform surgery in the name of Weah's re-election.
Can you imagine that?
What type of country is this?
Yes.
And this is headed by the Grand
Dr. Peter Cook.
that medical team.
No, Bobby, this is shameful, Bobby.
What type of country is this, Godwin Weah, though? Where so many negative vices taking place, one of which the breakdown of the rule of law.
What type of country is this? What type of country is this?
Moses?
Yeah.
One foolish man in the LPP can't talking about he declaring. I call him foolish man because he even know the number he representing. Then you can't say,
he endorses CBC.
Yeah, we endorsing the re-election.
Who said, oh, Volcano were you? Said, but where the man, how the man even got the job he got? He can't even explain what he
So we just pull out man there. Oh, Lord Jesus, man. What type of country is this? What type of country is this when you're not sure how much you're going to earn next month? Because everything go for your paycheck and not take us Sunday.
They said we harmonize you this week. We'll harmonize you for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I got one big bum.
Yeah.
What type of country is this? An institution, a public institution, payroll comes from the Ministry of Finance, right?
Yeah.
The deputy minister, that's Amara Konneh or whatever they call him,
Yeah.
to sign the people pay checks that's supposed to pay them.
Yeah.
Civil servants.
Yeah.
You must bribe him, otherwise they're not getting paid. What type of
country is this? What? Say that again, Volcano?
I say one of the employees from an institution in the government of Liberia say that payroll were delayed because
they didn't carry something for the man.
Supposed to sign the checks for that institution,
For that institution.
for the check to come for disbursement to them.
Yeah.
He say not signing it until they gave him 15 grand.
Yeah, man.
But not only that, they receive the checks, but it has to take 3 to 4 days for the check to clear.
Because
So
the
let
money
me
was
go
not
into,
available.
I got a check from my job. I can go to the bank and cash
Yeah.
it same day and get my money.
Of course.
But because we're not sure whether the money in the bank or not, you got to take 3 to 4 days before the check clears.
Yeah, man.
That is why this Amara Konneh or whatever his damn name is, he's building palaces, he's building real estate property.
Man, made literally looting, my man.
What type of corruption in this country like this? How did this country get in the hand of these criminals, man? These hardened guys who what come on now, how much harm can you do to your country?
The people,
You know, what type
people
of
like
country
Weah
is
will
this?
decide on Tuesday.
Mhm. What type of country is this that you look at people that are doing everything to take your country down to the ground, yet you are still campaigning for them to be re-elected? What kind of country is this? Volcano?
Yep.
Alphonso?
Yep.
The people taking your country to the graveyard, and you still campaigning for them. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? It's people among us who don't even understand that the country is being taken to the graveyard. And some people who care less too. They're just there to support for different reasons.
This is sad.
What type of country is this? When you in the country, you're wondering whether that the country you in.
Because you're not sure, eh?
Yeah, I know I was born in Liberia. I grew up in Liberia. I was educated in Liberia. I worked in Liberia. But then when I go back to Liberia, I can be wondering if it's a Liberia that I'm in. What type
My
of
Say that like
my
you said my people that like Brian, so.
when I came back to the US from landing at JFK, I knew I was back in the US right away.
See
Yeah.
familiar things.
Everything was in place. But every time you go to Liberia, you ask yourself, "Well, is this Liberia?"
everything looks strange, my man.
And you gotta question your own self, like you don't know your own country you were born in and grew up in and educated in and worked in. What type of country is this?
Yeah, man.
You know what Jackson says? What type of country is this? That's the Konneh who literally denounced President Tobo for corruption, but his son is looting the country.
In piss mode.
Baseball, man. What
That's
type
the
of country is this?
Konneh.
Yeah. What type of country is this? The Liberia best preserved. The only man in the history of Liberia who has done so much good, but the man can't go to sleep because he's not sure whether the people will vote for him, sir. What type of country is it that the man can't wait for Tuesday to come and go?
Shit, my man. Tough.
Liberia best president can't sleep, my man.
Tough.
Moses?
Yeah.
Alphonso, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll call it a night, gentlemen. 3 hours.
It was a great show. It was.
You know, it's sad. We'll be here on Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll get some numbers
Yep.
from the outcome of the elections. If they
Wow.
will be releasing.
So Tuesday we'll be here breaking the news.
Yeah, if the NEC will be presenting some numbers. But
Yeah,
again,
at least we can extend the show a little bit and hear from people back home. You know,
Political parties will be presenting numbers as well. I know Unity Party has set up a war room with.
Oh yeah, but they already arrested the Ghanaian active guy that they sent to the southeast.
Yeah,
to help them with the data. You know, they arrested a man bringing to Monrovia.
Yeah, but other people there.
Mm-hmm. You see the desperation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to hijack the service, but it's not going to happen this time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Let me
Yes,
just quickly
it was a pleasure, man.
thanks for
Good
being
night,
here
guys.
with us tonight, Emmanuel
Okay.
Jackson, Adiaha Omo. We want to thank you guys for being up here with us, especially Adiaha. She does a great
Oh
job
yeah,
in
she does.
Australia to hang out here with us. We say thank you, God, when we are though, even though you guys are a little late, but it's better late than never. Liberia. We want to thank you for, being here with us tonight. It's a pleasure having Mane Sumo. You know something? Quickly, I didn't go through the memory lane. Wow. Because we got caught up with all of this uh issue here. Let me see.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yes, hold 1 second here. I can't do that. Let me just quickly do the memory lane before I wrap up this broadcast. Otherwise, my man Mane will hold me in contempt. Um, no, go back this way. I know he sent something. It was a abbreviated. Let me see if this is it. Nowadays he sending the thing all in something like corner. I don't think that the one he sent here.
okay. If we can see it, we can do it next time.
I don't know if I saw it on WhatsApp because nowadays he throw it all around the place. My man acting. Dr. Sumo, if you're watching, can you send this stuff quickly to me here on Messenger? Because I know I saw something of recent.
Let me see.
I'm not sure. I think he's throwing it around the place in here
So,
WhatsApp.
yeah, the history of haircuts.
Yeah, that's it. Who's one of the platform on
So,
WhatsApp? I saw it.
no, so it should be in the community, but this one is also in the family club, which
Okay.
mine
Let me look in the community.
mine and I in, but it should be
Let
in the.
me look in the community.
Or if you can't find it, if you want me to read it, I can just read it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or I can send it to you. I can text it to you and then you read it. Let me do that.
He didn't send that to me. He usually sends it in
Yeah.
uh, messenger, and he didn't send it.
Shouldn't be.
So that's why it threw me off. Because when I looked, I didn't see it.
Let me see. Let me see if I can just forward it directly to you.
Messenger, right? I mean,
But
WhatsApp.
oh, you want me to send it by WhatsApp?
If
I'll,
wherever you can send it.
I'll sending it to your regular text. I was going to send it
Oh,
a regular text.
oh, she said. Oh, Adiaha says 11 a.m. in Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's daylight. It's daytime.
Yeah. They are ahead of us.
I think
Yeah,
it's 12 hours in time difference.
there's
It could.
time difference.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, guys. It was a pleasure.
So
Yeah, I'll let you go.
I send it to the chat, the regular text that you and Moses your text. So if you check your text, you should see it.
Nothing here.
Oh, if you
Yeah.
want to read it, I can just read it
That's
quickly.
what I'm saying. You guys go ahead. Because
Okay.
money, next time you send this stuff to me,
Memory Lane by Dr. A. Sumo, The History of Haircut. I say, so it is true that civilization started from where we call Africa today. Yes, life in general originated from our motherland, Africa. But why are those who copied from Africans are far ahead of us who own civilization? See, for example, 5,000 years before Jesus Christ was born, which is BC, the first barbarian shops were operated by Egyptians. Egypt is in North Africa. In those days, the Egyptians made instruments, razors, from oyster shells or sharpened flint to cut hair in different styles. History tells us that boys and men with a barbed hair were mostly from the elite class, and they drew a lot of respect and were loved by girls and women. Just about the same time of the Barbarian Age, the drinking of caffeinated beverages in the morning and the wearing of hats at work were introduced in Egypt. In 296 BC, barbering was introduced to Rome by the Greek colonists in Sicily who have copied the Egyptian civilization. Citation withheld for commercial reasons. By then, bronze and stainless steel were used as razors replacing oyster shells. The first barber shops in Rome were in the open air, where the barber placed a sitting stool and people were called in to look on or watch the barber. The reason is some barbers became paid assassins and they slashed the razors to the throat of their victims, and that was it, dead. Government officials were killed at the barber shops, and it was termed as accidental. Community members at odds got rid of each other at the barber shop, and so the community had to watch as the barber barbs. Today, our modern barber shops are not used to slash throats or commit murders, but our barber shops today have become a place for men's gossip centers and partisan politics. I come in peace. And that's the piece from Dr. A. Manusel.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So hopefully we'll be back here on Tuesday, Alfonso, on elections day runoff. And so good night.
Yep.
I'd like to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. I'm still under the weather, still trying to recover. If you notice, the broadcast, I've been going in and out because I've been kind of having to deal with trying to cough. It's been tough over the last week since I returned from Liberia. But hopefully all will be well. So I just want to thank all of you again for joining us here tonight. We'll be back here Tuesday, God's willing. Again, thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your support. Continue to enlighten. Share our page. Um, Tell people about us and let us come here and talk for our country. Volcano Shelton sing good night from our studios in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.